Welcome back, YouTube. Today we are playing more PioFiore. We are working our way through the finale route. We learn more about the villain, the previous key maiden, and maybe get some insight into who the villain really is. You can watch me play live on twitch.tv/Pinker NeonNova. Enjoy the video! A few days passed since I returned to the church. Phew! I sighed while cleaning the area. This is so boring. I wish I could do more. Orlok was acting as my guard, and he wasn't allowing me to step outside of the church's grounds at all. Well, I did agree to not do anything until the situation improved, but it looks like the situation in Berlin is only getting worse. I could feel the tension in the air, even while at the church. Yeah, Knife Twink is back. I'll take care of the rest. It's cold out here, so you go inside. Thank you, Orlok. Orlok took the broom from my hand and quietly swept the fallen leaves. He was helping me with my daily chores while guarding me. Sister Sophia knew why he was here, so she gave him a room to stay in. Then I'll clean up inside the church. Just let me know if you need anything. Orlok nodded slightly, and I headed towards the church. Hmm? That's strange. I just unlocked the door, but there was someone here already. How odd. Who could it be? Good morning, Pinker NeonNova. It's the other church twink. He spoke my name, but I had no idea who he was. It's the angel twink. And you are? The mysterious young boy smiled. My name is Emilio. I'm from the church. Of course, there is a bit more to me than that. Emilio. Like the Falzone, I am from a family that has been protecting tradition from ages ago. I wanted to speak with this generation's key maiden. Mm. This land is in the midst of a calamity, but it seems that none of you are aware of the perpetrator's motive. He's conservative. Get him! Emilio spoke like a fully grown adult despite his childlike appearance. That also includes you. Yet, you are the closest to the truth. Our key maiden, Pinker. Me? Indeed. Things will come to light the more you learn about who you truly are. All who made you who you are will help you. His words were confusing me. I tried to understand what he meant, but he made his way past me and out of the church. Ah, wait, Emilio. I called out to stop him. He playfully smiled at me. Oh, that's right. Don't let anyone know that I gave you that hint. I think so. Look at you, you little Deus Ex Machina. What do you mean? What you heard from me is secret from the Falzone family, Orlok, and everyone else. Uh, he knows that I'm helping all of them out. No matter how brutal the trial, what's important is that it is overcome by human hands. I'll be praying for your success. So what I'm hearing is he wants me to stab someone. because that's what Yang taught me to do. With that, Emilio swiftly departed. All who made me who I am, this church, this town. Does that include the Falzone, who also watched over me from the shadows? He wants me to stab Yang. He wants me to top Yang. That's how you top a Yandere. You stab them before they stab you. Hmm. I still really don't know anything. Hi, Trizzo. How are you? That included not knowing myself. A day passed since I met Emilio. Leo came to the church to deliver some supplies. I'm good. How are you? I'm doing pretty good. Feeling better than I have in a little while here. That's that's not the truth. I had a bit of an upset tummy today, but it's not so bad as it has been. It's been a weird week for me. But we're doing our best. Like I tell all my little voidlings to do too. Do your best. That's all I can ask. And I'll always be proud of you. Things in Berlin were taking a turn for the worse. More stores were closed, fearing the townspeople would start to riot. The Falzone and the Visconti apparently had their own procurement that's a word. Procurement routes and didn't have any problems with food or supplies. They were sharing them with us here. Thank you so much, Leo. You're a lifesaver. I only do my worst because I'm a menace to society. I mean, I'm a chaotic magic girl, so I also do chaotic things for society, but it's what we do best: chaos. But you can still do your best at doing your worst. Do your best to be a menace. Hello, coffee. Not at all. Glad to be of help. So, are you all right? Me? You don't look so good. Hmm. I was just thinking, that's all. I muddled my muddled. I muttered my response to him. I couldn't help but think about what Emilio told me yesterday. I know what you mean. It's tough trying to feel good with what's going on here. You haven't left the church either, have you? Maybe you should go outside and... No, I can't have her take any risks. Shut up, you little stabby man. What? You again, Orlok? Stop surprising me like that. What you looking at, baby? Did you find a string? I've been here all along. You just didn't notice me, Leo. Leo came to visit so often that he had gotten closer to Orlok. Oh, she found her lamb chop. She's playing with it in her office lamb chop. Nova has like 6 of these little lamb chop toys. And that's my fault because I buy them for her every time I go to the pet store. I should take a picture of all of them lined up. But they're her favorite toys. Like every time I bring her one home, she's just obsessed with them. You can see her playing with it out of the corner of my eye. It's so cute. Hmm? Okay, focus. If you'd like, why don't you come over to the manor? We have coffee and treats waiting there, so it should at least cheer you up. Our place is really safe, so you don't have to worry. Isn't that right, Orlok? I'm here because I'm protecting her. With how badly the Mafia is being looked upon, I'd rather keep her here. Oh, come on now. It'll be alright. She just has to hide her face outside of the manor. All who made you who you are will help you. Orlok, you know how often I've broken into your place? 100 times. The Falzone family kept watch over me all this time. I made a decision and looked at Orlok. I'd like to go, but is it all right? See, she wants to come too. I didn't do a very good job today. 20, 23 minutes, y'all. Oh, I did bad. Wow, Leo, you can't just say that. Naughty boy. Understood. I suppose it's just as safe to be there as long as I'm with her. Thank you, Orlok. We immediately made our way to the Falzone Manor. Upon arrival, I asked to be led to Dante to exchange greetings. Hi, Echo. How you doing? I knocked on the door and a voice called me in. Leo proceeded to open the door. Doing good? That's good. He looked at me with surprise on his face. Why are you here? What's going on? Oh, I'm sorry, boss. I invited her here to give her a breath of fresh air. I tried to stop her. I'm sorry to intrude like this, Dante. Leo simply wanted the best for me. You guys are so cute and chat. Being friendly. I see. Well, unfortunately, I'll need to head out soon. Did something happen? We captured the person you met who was related to the currency union, Giuseppe M. I can't say his last name. I gave up. We'll be meeting at the casino tonight to see how the director will react. Giuseppe Gilbert is also aware. There are some things I want to take care of before the meeting. I'm sorry I can't stay, but feel free to make yourself at home. Thank you, Dante. Damn, you put that coat, scarf, and hat on real fast, boy. He prepared to step out, then looked at me briefly. If you wish, I can take you back to the church once I return. Really? Yes, but I'll be late. Niccolo will be here, so if you need anything, ask him for help. We followed Dante out of the office as he left. We watched from behind. Yeah, we did. As he walked down the corridor. Well then, Let me take you to the salon. I'll ask Julia to brew some coffee and prepare some snacks. My wife! Oh, it's a surprise to see you here. We hate to see him go, but we love watching him leave. We do. We were chatting while enjoying the coffee and sweets that Julia prepared. Nicola came in with a smile on his face, wiping his hands with a towel. Were those hands covered in blood, Nicola? What were you doing? Yes, I hope I'm not intruding. Hmm? Nicola, are you hurt? Hmm? He tilted his head curiously at my question, then nodded, realizing what I was referring to. The towel in Nicola's hand had red splotches all over it. I knew it! What were you doing? Giuseppe M., was it? He was a lot more stubborn than I thought, so I just needed to show him his place. Uh, Nicola briefly explained what happened. The Visconti found the place where Giuseppe was staying. He rented a room in Falce, so the Falzone led the interrogation. Gil was there at the scene too and said, Nicola, take care of the rest, will you? So he was detained by the Falzone. He didn't have much information. All he said was that he was following the director's command. He's very careful about who he shares information with. It seems he had the key information, even from his accomplices. So that's why Dante went to the casino to see the director. Hearing that I knew, Nicola raised an eyebrow in surprise. But isn't it too early to act? You could have obtained solid proof first. We do have our pride, you know. We don't like being toyed with. Nicholas smiled as he spoke, and Leo nodded. They're trying to get rid of us, so it's best to take the initiative. We need to make sure they know we mean business. We are the mafia after all. If we can pressure them into spilling the beans, even better. Hey, Miss Protagonist, we just tortured a man. Are you cool with that? I'll never understand you, Mafia. That said, the director will know that his man has gone missing. So it does make sense to act now before he notices. I took a sip of my warm cafe latte as I prayed for a good outcome. Dante and the others were at the casino. During his absence, Orlok and I were having dinner at the Falzone Manor. Oh, it's just going to autoplay this one. Okay. Do I get to see my husband? I will never understand torture, for I am dark and brooding. I only understand murder. Gilbert Yang and I arrived at the casino, and we were greeted in the same manner as usual. Welcome to the casino. I must say, it's been a while since you've graced us with your presence. I'm glad you decided to stop by. I suppose it's been difficult maintaining your usual duties with what's going on. You're such a little shit, director. It's my new husband. The director. The villain. A courteous attempt, feigning innocence when you're behind it all. It's my murder husband. Oh, whatever do you mean? Still playing games, are you? You've been printing the counterfeit $10 bills that are disrupting the economy. Your casino has distributed them with ease. It's government run after all. Oh, he's so pretty. I love him so much. Ma 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 ma. Let's go back to Yang. Let's go back and do the Yang route again. You had to use the currency union, huh? Didn't you know they're inactive now? Or were you wanting to get involved with other countries' currency? Director. No. Sebastiano Gallia. By framing Gilbert, you tarnish the name of the Burlone Mafia. Did you not know, Sebastiano? What would happen to you if you stood against us? What's so funny? I'm surprised men of your caliber are accusing me without any evidence. What a delightfully funny story. Let us assume, hypothetically, that I was the one pulling the strings. Why would I do such a thing? I highly doubt you have anything convincing to say about it. Oh, he's so delicious. I love him so much. Yang looked at him coldly, uninterested in explaining anything at all. Yang said, "Stop it. It's stabbing time." The director continued. Me? Dabbling in a crime like that? Against the mafia here who could kill me? Why, that would be too risky. You're still going to deny our allegations? If I truly were the culprit behind all that has happened, words would be meaningless. Only proof would bear value. I did say that already, didn't I? I assume that's only fair, Signor Falzone. Perhaps I am simply a puppet being used by someone else. Or perhaps I am expressing my hatred for the mafia and risking my life for personal reasons. Please, if you must, come back when you have a valid accusation against me. This is getting this is getting bothersome. The air grew tense. It was obvious that he was ready to draw his weapon and kill him, but the director didn't flinch at all. Instead, he responded, "Do you wish to resolve this with violence? I don't mind, if that suits you. But allow me to remind you that I am also a part of the Italian government. If you bring harm to me or accuse me without any proof, the people here will only see you all as ruthless criminals." He was right. We wouldn't be able to get rid of him without solid evidence. We understood that very well. How rude of me. I'm sure you were all intelligent enough to arrive to that conclusion yourselves. As we left the room, the director kept a smile on his face without a hint of any wrongdoing. He's not a cop. He's not a cop. He's just a government official. Um, Casinos are state run, so as a director of a casino, he's a government official. Nah, he's just being a bitch because he knows he has the upper hand. Which, we like a man who's a bitch. We like a man who looks at the three most dangerous men in a city and is like, I'm sorry, I got you all by the balls right now. And you can't do anything about it. He says, I'm sorry. Um, Charismatic mafia leader from old money, psychotic mafia leader. Uh, None of you can touch me because I've outsmarted you. Ha 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 ha. That's why we enjoy him. Pink. What is it?
さっきからそわそわしてるみたいだけど、
You've been fidgeting for
何か
some time.
気になる？
Is something bothering you? Oh, I wasn't sure what to say. Nicola noticed my restlessness as well.
安心して、殺したわ
Don't
けじゃないか
worry,
ら。
he's not dead. I guess he knew what was on my mind. I might as well get this off my chest while I still can. Is it your shirt? Is it my shirt? Is he here in the manor? Is he all right?
そうだよ。生きてはいる。
Yes, he's still alive. His nonchalant response made me wonder. We were finished with dinner. I held back Nicola for a bit before he left the salon to do his work. I asked him if I could tend to Giuseppe down in the cells. Nicola raised an eyebrow, saying he was surprised that I cared at all. He then told me I could do what I wanted and gave me permission to see him. But he said that I would need Orlok to accompany me just in case. Oh, of course we have to go see the tortured man because we're a good girl. The man cowered in the corner. He was shackled to the wall so that he couldn't escape. Um, I've brought you some food and water. Huh? But first, I have to treat you. Let me clean those wounds. Orlok was standing behind me. The man looked oddly at both of us, then suddenly gasped.
君は
Wait,
あの時の
aren't you?
君はマフィアの
Aren't you that girl with the mafia? That means I'm at the Visconti
デ
Manor?
スコンティだった。
It seemed he wasn't told where he was brought. I thought it best to avoid giving him information by responding to his question. So instead of answering, I decided instead to say what I could. I asked one of the people here whether I could come and tend to your wounds. I understand you're not a good person, being involved with the counterfeiting, but I can't let someone injured go on without proper care. I sensed Orlok quietly watching from behind me as I tended to the man's wounds. This is horrible. He wasn't hurt beyond recovery, and he hadn't lost any limbs or organs. But the mafia ruled over Berlone. I had seen so many who were critically injured, even those who had died from their conflicts. but I'd never seen anyone injured from torture before. His wounds made me cringe. As I continued disinfecting and treating his wounds, he mumbled something to me.
私は
I
私は
was
あ
simply
の
being
男に
used
利
by
用さ
him.
れていただけだった。
Him? As in the director?
ああ
Yes.
私は結局
I hardly know
あの男のこ
who
とを
he
ほと
is,
んど知らなかった。
even after all this.
だがずっと
Strange.
さっきまで
And here I
私は
believed
彼
him
を
without a
心か
doubt.
ら信じていたんだ。
He's very charismatic, so it's okay, Giuseppe. I understand.
彼のすることは全て正し
I
い。
thought he was in the right.
彼
I
のため
wanted
に
to help him.
だが散々
But my
に痛めつけ
suffering
られ
has
ている
made me
うちに
question
疑問に思ったんだ。私はどう
why
して
I was
あの男
enduring
の
all
ため
this
に
torture
耐えてい
just
る
for
のか
him.
と。
Because he's very pretty. He sounds like a person who's been brainwashed.
ディレットーレが仮面を外したところを見たことは
Did you see the director without his mask on?
ない。
No.
あの男は結
I
局
doubt he trusts
自
anyone
分以外
enough
の
to
人
show
間は
his
信
true
じていなか
identity.
ったんだろう。
Is there a problem?
そういえばディレットーレに関わることで一つだけ
Come to think of it, there was something on his desk related to him.
支配人室の机には
A picture framed in his office.
意識に止まったのは
Now
そ
I
の写真
remember.
立てがいつも
It was
伏せられ
odd
ていたん
because
だ。
it was always laying face down on the desk.
ディレットーレが部屋を出ている
While he
隙に
was out, I had a
奥さんか
chance
ら
to
そ
see
れを
what
覗
was
き
in the
見た
frame.
ことが。そこに飾られていたのは
The
金
photo
髪
looked
の少女
old.
が写る古い
It
写
was a
真だった。
picture of a blonde girl. The director had a picture of a girl on his desk?
もしかしたらディレットーレにとって
It could be
重要な
someone
ものなの
important
か
to
も
him.
しれない。
You're right. It could lead us to his true identity. The man hesitantly spoke again, seeing us nod to each other.
私がこんなことを頼めた義理ではないのも
It's not a picture of us. We are not related in any way, shape, or form. I know I don't have the right to ask this, but
どうか殺さないでくれ。
please don't kill me.
いや
If you do,
殺すならせめて
end my
一言
life
に分け
quickly.
て私が知っている情報は
That's all
こ
I
れで
know.
全てだ。
I have
こ
nothing
れ以
else
上
to
何を
share.
されても答えようがない。
I thought for a moment, then nodded. I can't promise you anything, but I'll make an argument to let you live. I mean, it could be a picture of me. I don't know. I don't remember this route all that much. I know a little bit about it. I know who the director is, but I'm not telling you guys. Grazie. Welcome back, Dante. We found Dante in the salon after coming back from the cell.
地下牢にいた男から面白いことを聞
We
いた。
heard something interesting from the man in the cell. He spoke about a picture. Orlok summarized what the man had told us. Dante quietly listened.
わかった。
I see. I'll share that information with Gilbert and Yang. I also have a favor to ask Dante. Please don't kill him. Don't you look away from me, sir.
少なくともこの件が落ち着くまで野放しにすることはできない。
I have no intention of letting him go until we have the situation under control.
モディリアーニの背後関係を
If we
よく見
find
たら
out that Giuseppe isn't an enemy of the mafia here in Berlin, then I can make an exception. Thank you, Dante.
下っ端とはいえ役人を殺すのは
He may not hold a high position, but he still works for the government. He may prove useful later, too. Thank goodness. Dante looked at me as I breathed a sigh of relief. He then shared with us what happened at today's meeting. Processing. Others. Thank you very much. You helped me realize what I needed to do. And to think, all of this time, no one ever saw my value. Because of you, everyone in town is now asking for more articles from me. Come on now. All we did was have conversation. It was the power of your words that gripped through your readers' hearts. That's not true. This is all because of you. Your words were like a revelation. Please, Signor Sebastiano, I ask that you let me stay by your side and help you. This wasn't good. He would probably act on his own accord in the name of helping me. To add, it seems like he was already being tracked by them. I silently gestured to my men who were standing next to my desk. Signor Sebastiano? You did very well indeed. Thank you. You just fucking murdered them. He then shared with us what happened at today's meeting. Oh, another one. Let down. Others. We learned of the reporter who had been using La Gazzetta to write the false news. We were in Strano to find and detain him after we got word he was there. However, the place is empty. There was nothing here. Everything had been cleared out. I received the report yesterday that he was living here. But not anymore. It doesn't seem that he's taken a casual stroll either. By the looks of it, he left this place, so odds are likely he'll never return. Do you think he noticed us coming? Oliver! Don't say that. Oliver can come all over me. I said it anyways. Who knows? Lee yawned while looking around the room. I was expecting a bit of resistance, but what a letdown. I asked for the Lao Shu's assistance, expecting retaliation in the form of gunfire. I could have asked for the Visconti to help, but instead of getting them from Creta, I figured it was faster for the Lao Shu to come from Strano. It would also keep our movements as minimal as possible, but whoever it is, they're a step ahead of us, as much as I hate to admit it. Actually, they were more than a step ahead of us. We found out the next day that the reporter was killed. We lost our lead with his death. We were going to have to find another way. I love Oliver so much. They tried to pressure the director, but didn't get any information out of him. Still, their encounter with him deepened their suspicions. Dante looked at the time and offered us a ride home before it got too late. With that, we were driven back to the church in a Val's own car. Don't wow me, Cole. Good morning, Marco. You're 14 minutes late. Chipper as usual, aren't you? So what is it? You're not looking so good this morning. This is how I normally look. We found a body in the waters off the dock. I handed the report over to Marco, and he swiped it from me and skimmed through it. This poor soul is the guy who wrote the fake articles, huh? Yes. Recently, fraudulent newspapers using the name La Gazzetta had been stirring up fear amongst the townspeople. The police were investigating its source. The name on the byline was a pseudonym, but we had finally uncovered his real name. We even discovered the location of his hiding place. Guess he was killed before we got to him. Yes, the chief thinks it was someone from the mafia. He's not eager to investigate. He claims the articles written spoke against the mafia only to have something to sell. Killed by the mafia. Figured as much our boss would say that. Robbie, I know you don't like the mafia, but don't try to do anything rash. A doubt came to mind. I thought of a possibility that hadn't occurred to me before. Did the mafia really kill him in retaliation for the articles? Roberto! Now you're thinking with portals. I see. Then I'd love to see what justice means to you. You say I'm mafia and a criminal, but at the same time, I'm a civilian who loves this town. Roberto's having a thought in that little noggin. Look at those dead eyes. His one brain cell is working. Most would see this as the mafia's doing. But why was I thinking otherwise? It had been 3 days since I visited the Falzone Manor. We gathered once again at the church. This is unusual. Yang called the meeting? What the hell happened? Yang tossed something over to me. What's this? It was a picture frame. Inside was a picture of a small blonde girl. Yang's in the church? Yeah. We've been meeting at the church because we can't meet at the casino. I had to mute because I had to cough real quick. I'm back. The photo looked old. It was a picture of a blonde girl. Is this? I didn't care. I didn't care for the director's attitude in our last meeting. So when I heard he had something interesting on his desk, I went to look at it. You little shit. I love you so much. Everyone froze hearing his words. They need to improve their security. Not one of them noticed me. You infiltrated the casino by yourself? You're the head of your organization, Yang. It doesn't make sense to infiltrate as a group. Also, I'm the most skilled of the Lao Shu. The greater the challenge, the easier it is for me to clear it. And I had fun. I love you. Unbelievable. What the hell were you going to do if they found you? They didn't. What's the problem? They're so fed up with their sneaky boyfriend. Never mind that. Look at the backing. There's an extra layer.
仕掛けは壊した。
I
簡
broke the
単に開く
latch.
はずだ。
Take a look. Okay. I listened to what he said. There was something behind the extra backing. I found one more picture hidden behind the picture of the girl. This is a blonde woman smiling happily. It looks like the same person, or at least they look similar. I showed the two pictures to everyone. They all tilted their heads. It didn't seem like they knew who she was. But then Nicola noticed something.
ダンテ、これ、
Dante,
君の失明。
this is your office. Hmm? We took a careful look at the two pictures again. The older picture was taken somewhere we didn't recognize, but the newer picture was taken where Nicola mentioned.
確かに。
It's the Falzone family office. So that means she's somehow related to the Falzone family?
だが、この写真の古さから考えて、俺があの
But
執務室を
considering
使う
how
ように
old the
なる
photo
以前に
is,
撮られたものだと。
it must have been taken before I began using the office,
先代シルビオ・ファルツォーネがあの
which
部屋を
means
使っていた
it
頃
was likely from back when Silvio Falzone was alive. It's Dante's mom. I don't think it's Dante's mom. They've been talking about, in this route, about a girl who died while under the care of the Falzone. So I think it was one of the previous key maidens.
ディレットーレは個人的な事情
The director did mention about personal reasons. No, our mom wasn't the previous key maiden. Our mom's just gone. So she may have been involved with whatever reason the director has. Yeah, the key maidens are chosen by the stars. It's not like a hereditary thing. But if that were the case, I would assume he would target the Falzone, not the Visconti.
もしかしたらこれは
This may be one hell of a stage that was set up to involve Berlone as a whole. Yeah, our mom just went out for milk. So did our dad. They're just gone. Hearing Gil's words jogged my mind.
君を育んだすべてが君に
All
対す
who
る
made
助
you
言
who
とな
you
る
are will help you. When I heard him say that to me, I thought the Falzone family was somehow involved. If the director's objective is to seek revenge, what's happening now may have been set up a long time ago. I can read today, y'all.
確かにな
Indeed,
連中の動きには
their
穴が
tracks have
ない
been well covered.
計画を
To
緻
do
密に
that,
進めるには
they needed to
備
be
えがいる
prepared. No one refuted the idea. Nicola gave a deep sigh, breaking the silence.
とりあえずファルツォーネの古株に話を
I'll
聞い
ask
てみ
the
る
older members of our family and see if we can find a trail.
もしかしたら写真の
Maybe
女性
there's
に
someone
心
old
当たりが
enough to
ある
know
か
who
もしれ
she
ない
is. Oh, can I come with you? If this was a matter that in involving the Falzone, I may be related in some way too. More than anything, that boy said that I was the closest to the truth.
いいだろうファルツォーネ
That's
の
fine.
歴史は
In
お前
any
にも知る
case,
権利があることだ
you have a right to know the Falzone family history. Thank you, Dante. Everyone began to disperse as the meeting drew to a close. Dante left with the promise to send someone over to pick me up. The next day, I was at the family's manner again. Dante and Nicola were planning on speaking with Julia first. Apparently, she was the housemaid who had worked here the longest. Julia was staring at the picture of the girl. She then sighed and began to speak.
この方がここにいらした頃は
I see why you don't remember her.
ダンテ坊ちゃんもニコラ坊
She was
ちゃん
here
も
back when
まだ
both of
小
you
さ
were
かったで
very
すから
little.
ね
知っているのか
You know her, Julia?
はい
Yes,
私はもともと
I was working as a handmaid back then for your mother, Signorina Beatrice.
私がここに来て
After I was
少し経った
assigned to your
頃
mother,
クロエという名の女
a
の
girl
子
by
が
the name of
この屋敷
Chloe
に
arrived
来てい
here.
ました
Coffee. Chloe.
ええ
Yes,
か
I believe
ク
her.
ロエ・ラン
It
ベル
was Chloe Lambert.
シルビオ様
Senior Silvio, the previous boss, treated her as if she were his own daughter.
あの当時
I believe she was 15 or 16 years old then.
ダンテ坊ちゃんがお生まれになった時
At least, I know she had
まだ20に届いていなか
not
った
yet
かと
turned 20 when you were born, young Dante.
そのクロエはどういう
So
人だ
this Chloe, who was
どう
she?
してファルツォーネに
Why
来る
did
こと
she
が
come to the Falzone family?
親を亡くしたとだけ聞いてい
I
ます
only heard she had lost her
だから こ
parents,
の屋敷で保護
which
す
is
る
why
の
she
だ
was
と
with us here.
このお嬢さんは
For a
しば
short
らくの間
while, she
弟
was
と
living
一緒
here
に
with her
ファル
younger
ツォー
brother.
ネで生活しています
Chloe had a younger brother? Julia nodded, then looked at Nicola.
ニコラ坊ちゃん覚えておられませんか
Little Nicola, don't you remember? You met him before.
そういえば
Come to think of it, I do recall meeting a boy a bit older than me when I came to visit.
ニコラ坊ちゃんは確か
Everyone keeps getting lost on their way to get milk.
10歳くらいでしたかね
You were only about 5 years old then. The other boy was about 10.
マフィアの屋敷で暮らす
But he
生活
rarely
だから
spoke.
かあま
I
り
suppose he
喋らない
didn't
子
feel
で
comfortable living with the mafia. Julia, do you remember his name?
名前
Name. Now
何で
what
したっ
was
け
it?
ねいつも快活な姉の影に隠
He
れてい
always
るよ
hid
うな
behind
子
his
で
rambunctious sister.
ああ
Oh,
確か
that's right.
レイトンと呼ばれて
Rayton.
いたと思います
I believe that was his name. Rayton.
私が知っているのはこれくらい
That's
です
about all I remember.
シルビオ様からはあまり詳しい内情を聞かされて
I
い
hadn't
ま
heard
せん
much about either of them from Signor Silvo.
当時私は
After
家事
all,
を取り仕切る
I
立場
wasn't
で
the
は
head
なく
housemaid then.
あくまで
I simply
お人の
served your
好き
mother
な人で
only.
したから
I guess a 10-year-old child didn't feel comfortable with all this murder. True. Shelia,
大変鍋が煮立ってしまい
the
ます
pot. It's going to boil over.
昔話はもう
Now,
終わ
now.
り
I need to
さあ
get back to
皆さん
work.
キッチンから出て行っ
Please,
てください
if you will excuse me. She chased us out of the kitchen, so we went to Dante's office to review what we knew.
クロエの弟
Chloe's younger brother, Rayton, would be past 30 if he's alive now. We looked at each other with the same thought in mind.
ディレットーレは
The director.
顔を隠してるけど多分
His face
それ
is
くらいの
hidden,
年齢だと
but I believe he's in his 30s.
だが
But
推測の域を
we don't have any evidence.
決めつけるには早いけど
Well,
彼女の弟
we can at least investigate a bit more on this Rayton person.
もしそこからディレットーレ
If
に
we
つ
can
ながり
connect
そう
him
な
to the
疑いがあれ
director,
ば
then. I hesitantly spoke what was on my mind. The director implied that he had some kind of grudge against the mafia, didn't he? But this Righton child was under the family Falzone family's care.
過去に何が起きたのか俺たちはまだ
We
全
don't
容
know
を
what
知らない
happened back then.
恨むだけの理由が
Maybe
ある
there
のかも
was
しれないし
something worth holding a
全く
grudge
無関
over.
係の人物かもし
Or
れない
maybe this has nothing to do with the problem at hand.
これ
Dante, please let me help with the investigation. The director seems to have an interest in me too. Maybe there's something only I can find out.
その可能性は否定できない。
We can't deny that possibility.
俺は
In
ある
fact,
と思う。
I think you're right.
鍵の乙女は
The Key
その
Maiden
特
is
別な存在
special,
だから
even if that person isn't aware of their status.
どうするダンテ
What do you say, Dante? Dante was frowning, but after a moment of thinking, he let out a deep sigh.
Just don't make any movements on your own.
Shut up! I'm a strong, independent woman. I can do whatever I want. It's not the 1910s anymore. It is 1925.
どこか出かけたい場所ができたとしても
If there's any place you wish to go, one of us must accompany you. That is the condition.
Yeah, Orlok will be with me.
ギルバートの親密な相手
After
という
all,
ことでお前の
most
顔は
of
街
the
の人間に
everyone in the
想像さ
town.
せている
But after all, most everyone in the town already knows you're close to Gilbert.
Women are marching for the suffrage.
今のブルローネを一人で歩けば
Walking around
変に絡んでくる奴が
out
いる
there
ことが
by
限られ
yourself is only inviting trouble.
I understand. I won't go out alone. I promise I'll be with someone when I go out. With Orlok. And if that scares you, I will take Yang with me. I'll take the 2 murder men. I'm not going to take you, Ice Prince. Seeing me nod wholeheartedly, Dante finally relaxed and gave me a gentle smile.
判明した情報と今後の動きについて
We had better share our information with Gilbert and Yang.
Dante picked up the phone. Really, anyone is safer than Nicola. I mean, Nicola's also a murder man, so I could take him too. It's just 50-50 whether he's going to murder me or someone else. So, I don't want to take that chance, so I will take Yang and Orlok with me. Orlok and I left the room so we didn't get in the way of his call. And like that, we returned to the church in the Valzone's car. Oh, gossip. Someone called me as I cleaned the area.
Buongiorno, signorina.
Hi, Henry. Yes, buongiorno to you as well. I don't know him. Do I? It wasn't unusual to be greeted by someone you didn't know at the church. The man had a gentle smile on his face and began talking in a casual manner.
いつも休みなく働いているようだけれど
You're always here working every day.
Are you a sister too?
No, I'm just here to help them with all their work. It's to show my gratitude for the church for raising me when I was younger.
なるほど
I see. Come to think of it, there's another here who doesn't look like a sister either.
確か
I believe she had blonde hair?
Oh, you mean Pink?
まあここしば
Why,
らく
yes.
姿を見なかったけれど
I haven't seen her in a
最近また
while,
教会で見か
but
ける
I've noticed she came back recently.
Yeah, Elena and I can't take vows of celibacy because we do each other too much. Too much. Oh, yes, well, she has many things to do. I tried to give a vague response.
事情はよくわからないが
I hope the church is doing fine. This town has been a bit strange recently.
治安も良くないけれど
Yeah, like Elena. I have to be doing Elena. Why, yes, this is God's home, so all is well.
ブルローネマフィアも守ってく
The
れるし
Burlone Mafia also offers support, no? The, they do.
マフィアが怖くないかい
Aren't you scared of the Mafia?
確かにその
I
怖いけ
suppose
ど
so, but
あの子たちは今
they're
教会
protecting
の
the
警備
church
もして
for
くれて
us.
それに以前から寄
They
付もして
often
くれてい
donate
た
to the
わ
church as
だ
well,
から
so
ありがたい
I'm
な
more
って気
thankful
がし
than
ます
scared.
くれぐれもあまり気を
Well,
許さないよ
don't let your guard down.
マフィアは所
The
詮
Mafia are
犯罪者だ
criminals through and through.
Henry, don't scare my wife. That's not
そ
nice.
うよね
Yes, I suppose.
特に君は年頃の
You're still
女の子
young
なのだから
and have a lot ahead of you.
あまり近づきすぎては
Don't get too close to
そ
them,
んな目に遭うこと
lest they
があ
drag
る
you
かも
into
しれない
something dangerous.
お気遣いありがとうシニョーレあなたは優しい人ね
Thank you for your care, Senor. You are a kind gentleman. I smiled at his concern for my well being.
ところであなたあの子の
Oh,
知り合いなの
are you Pink's friend?
あの子ならもうすぐ帰ってくる
She
と
should be
思うけ
back
ど
shortly.
話があるなら
Would you
中
like
で
to wait
待っていい
inside?
いや今日はあまり時間がないまたの機会に
No, I don't have much time today. Maybe next time.
Look at this scrangly man. Look at him. So scrangly. A car stopped in front of the church.
帰ってきたみたい
Oh, she's back. And like that, we returned to the church in the Falzone's car.
おかえりなさい二人とも
Welcome home, you two. Hi, wifey. Oh, look at how pretty you are with your pretty eyes and your pretty hair and your pretty braid and your cute bangs. I love you so much, Elena. Elena greeted us with a smile. It looked like she was cleaning the area. Next to her was Henry? I held my breath in surprise. Elena tilted her head and looked at me curiously.
そうだわねえ
Oh, I forgot. Orlock, can you help me for a bit? With a bright smile on her face, she began tugging Orlock away. Hey, hey, that's my murder boy. I need him. What if I need him to murder someone? Elena, don't take him away. It isn't a huge problem, but I need your help at the refectory. Hurry.
わかった
Okay. She just stole my assassin. Wife, you're exposing me to danger. Wife! Orlock was worried about me being alone with Henry, but he was dragged away by Elena. Before Elena and Orlock turned the corner, she looked my way and gave a childish smile. Oh, she's trying to set me up with a man. Elena! You. Elena! You. I blushed, knowing why Elena took him away.
いい友達だな
You have a nice friend there.
Henry gave a warm smile. I was glad there were no hard feelings since we last met.
どこかに出かけていたようだけれど
It looks like you stepped out for a bit.
I wasn't sure what to say, but at the very least I knew I shouldn't lie to him. I went to the Falzone's residence.
そうか
I see.
では
Well, I should get going.
He doesn't like that I'm involved with the mafia. Oh, wait, Henry. I called his name out, wanting to talk with him a bit longer. Henry stared at me with a blank look, seeming unhappy at being stopped.
何か用が
Is there something you need?
I responded with, Not really, but I was hesitant. Could you spare a moment? I was hoping to chat with you.
Mm,
仕方ないな。
I
だった
suppose
ら
so.
好きに話せば
We
いい。
can talk, but
聞
I
く
need to
わけだ
leave
から。
when we're done.
Don't be so grumpy. I'm just a baby. No thoughts. I'm dumb. Actually, I was hoping to get to know you better. Do you mind telling me more about yourself? Henry sighed a bit, then looked straight at me.
残念だけれど、私は女性を楽しませる。
Unfortunately, I don't have anything interesting to say about myself.
I'm sure that's not true. I mean, I had a lovely time chatting with you when we took a stroll together. Henry looked surprised. I didn't think I had said anything strange, but for some reason, I felt my face begin to prickle. Henry, if you don't mind, would you go on a stroll with me again? Well, not that now is the right time to be going outside.
そうだな。
Well,
機会があれば。
perhaps next time.
Yes, thank you. I smiled, hearing Henry respond affirmatively to my hearing Henry respond affirmatively to my invitation. What a weird way to say positively. He then closed his eyes and shook his head, walking away. Take care, Henry.
君こそ。
You too.
With that, I watched Henry leave until I could see him no more.
You too.
I suppose he still is worried about me. I can read. Yeehaw. Mixed feelings of guilt and joy rose within my heart. I'm just glad I was able to see him. Having the chance to speak with him like this again was nice. I'd better thank Elena. I headed to the refractory to express my thanks to Elena. Chapter 6. The following morning. After waking up, I looked outside the window and up at the sky. This is what I need. Ugh. Why you do that? I tried to recall all that had happened so far to get a better grasp of the situation. I was suddenly attacked by Yang in my room. Then the foul zone appeared and began a gunfight in the church. I escaped with Orlok's help and met Gil. Then I was invited to the Visconti Manor, where I was treated as a guest. But soon the people in town started speaking ill of the mafia. That article about the government taking action against the mafia made matters worse. We soon found out that the casino was involved with the counterfeiting. It was around then that I met Emilio. He mentioned to me that I was close to the truth and that everyone who had made me who I am would help me. That is the briefest summary of this game. And this route. Chloe and her younger brother Righton lived in the Foul Zone Manor. I feel like whatever happened to the Foul Zone back then is key to our situation now. I asked Dante and the others to let me help them, but I couldn't roam Berlone now, given how things were. I suppose that just means I'll need to step outside only when it's needed. Wasn't there anything else I could do? Dante comes here every week, so I can see him again on Wednesday. I better get back to my duties. I need to do what I can.
すごいやる気ね。あっち
Wow,
もこっちもピカピカ
wow.
じゃない。
Look at what you've done, Pink. The place is shiny all over. Elena let out a surprised voice at the sight of the kitchen. I was at the Visconti Manor for a while, wasn't I? I just wanted to pay you and everyone else back for taking care of things in my absence.
そういうのはあな
That
たら
sounds
し
so
いけ
like
ど、
you.
あまり無
But
理は
don't
しない
push
でね。
yourself. Thanks, Elena. You're always so sweet.
そう？きっ
You
と優しいんじゃなくて、
think?
あなたのことが大
Well,
事なだけだと思う
I
わ。
think I'm just that way because of you. Oh, we're sweet because of each other. And sweet on each other. Ma 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 ma. Girl kissing. Girl kissing. Boop a doop a doop a doo.
大切な友達が
I'd
頑
hate
張
to
りす
see
ぎ
my
て
best
ダメ
friend
だったら
collapse from
後悔する
exhaustion.
すごく悲しいもの。
Best friend. Air quotes. Elena really was a sweet girl. Say, Elena, how about we have an afternoon tea break today? I can make something once I'm done here.
あなたのお菓子が久しぶりに食べ
That
られ
must
るの
mean
ね。
you're going to
とって
bake
も楽し
some
みだ。
sweets.
子供
I
たちも
can't
喜ぶ
wait.
と
I'm
思う。
sure the kids will be happy too. I'm gonna bake her something sweet. We spent some time having a nice afternoon snack together with everyone at the church. I feel like I haven't smiled like this in a long time now. Recently, there haven't been many people coming to the church to pray. That was a violent cough that I just had. Okay, I'm good. There were even fewer people today. It wasn't unusual to see people visit later in the evening. But with what's going on in Berlin, there was hardly anyone walking outside. I guess I can close the doors to the church now.
ボナセーラ
Buonasera. Huh? The sound of childish speaking in a cute accent resounded through the church. Isn't that Lan? Faye? You two have never come here before. What brings you here today?
珍しいでしょう。
Unusual,
今
right?
日は僕たち
But
だけ
it's
じゃない
not just
わ。
us today. What? From behind them appeared the Lao Shu's leader, Yang. Hi, baby. How are you? This was all too sudden. Did you come to pray?
回収？
Pray? Well, you came to the church to offer your prayers, no?
俺が祈ると思うか？
Do you think I'd pray? I mean, you could get on your knees, sir. I would appreciate that very much. I recalled all he said and done until now. I shook my head.
だろ？そんなバカな話やあった
You'd
こと
have to
ない
be an
くらい。
idiot to think I'd do that. Yang sighed in disbelief. but it was oddly reassuring to hear him say that. It would have been an even bigger shock if he had said he'd believed in God. Orlok had been cleaning inside, but he silently appeared next to me. Seeing Yang and the others here, he gave a frown.
そんな怖い顔しなくていいのに
Hey, no need to look at us like that.
僕たち別に変な
It's
こと
not
し
like
な
we're
いよ
gonna do anything. Instead of saying anything to Faye, he looked at me.
追い出そうか。
Should I get rid of them?
Damn, Orlok, just coming out here being like, do you want me to stab them all? Okay. No, it's fine. I don't know what's happening, but they did come all the way out here.
教会の女とやらは随分懐
You
が深いね
church goers are too accepting.
Orlok murder horny. Me too, Orlok. It's okay. But that's what the church is all about. I responded to Yang's ridicule. If you were bothering the parishioners, I might have asked you to leave, but there's no one here now.
閑古鳥が鳴いてるよ
Poor
ね
thing. This place is like a ghost town.
墓参りに来る人の方が
More
多い
like people coming to see ghosts, right? Hey, shut up. What do you mean?
裏にあるの墓地でしょ
There was someone out in the graveyard. At this hour? Do you know who it is?
ちょっ
Hmm.
と目を引くイケメンだったよ
He's pretty good looking. He kinda stood out.
あと
Oh, and he's about as tall as Yang.
髪はヤンより短かったよ
His hair's shorter than Yang's. He didn't have any weapons, so I don't think he's mafia.
うんうん
Yep,
普通の
yep.
人っぽかったよ
Just some normal guy.
なんとなく
And a normal, sad looking guy.
そりゃね
Well,
参りだから
it is a graveyard, you know. Could it be? Henry? A certain figure crossed my mind. Hmm.
もしかして知り合い追いかけないの
You know him? You're not going to go after him? I'm sure it's too late. They saw him when they first arrived, and we'd been talking here for a while now. If it is who I think it is, I was sure he wouldn't stay out there for too long. Stay out there for long. After all, this town is so dangerous to be out at night with all that's happening. Yang spoke to me, not paying any mind to what the twins were saying in the background.
この教会の頭は誰だ
Who is the leader of this church?
Yang! You mean Sister Sophia?
呼んでこい
Bring her here.
Yang, what do you want with Sister Sophia? But why would he want her here? I felt uneasy bringing her here when Yang's motives weren't clear. I couldn't ignore the fact that Yang was still a very dangerous person.
私に
But-
何かご用ですか
Is there something you need from me?
Sister Sophia. I wasn't sure if it was a good or bad timing. Sister Sophia appeared in the church.
えいなん
Faye,
その辺で
Lan.
遊んでこい
go play outside.
はーいその辺
Okay.
見学してくるよ
We'll check the place out. They nodded, then ran out of the church. Oh, Orlok, do you mind keeping an eye on those two? Orlok looked at the other two with a frown. Yang was staring eerily at Sister Sophia, but it didn't seem like he had any intention of becoming aggressive. It'll be fine. I think Yang knows it isn't a good idea to do anything to the church now.
何かするつもりならお前たちが身構え
And
る
if
前
I
に仕掛けて
did,
いる
would have done it before any of you could react. Yang, literally, Orlok murdered you in a rout. Also, Orlok, Yang murdered you in a rout. So, like, you guys are tied for power here. So,
第一こうして正面から顔をさらして尋
you
ね
wouldn't
まで
see
し
me in
ない
front of you at all if that were the case. That's true. If Yang was going to do something bad, he wouldn't have come in here to talk. He would have come in here to murder. That's very true. He's a bad man.
分かった。
Understood.
何か
Call me if you need anything. That call will come in screams of pain or enjoyment. When it comes to Yang, it's kind of the same noise. He looked a bit worried, but he accepted and headed out to chase after the twins. With them gone, Sister Sophia began to speak.
深夜の会合にいらしていましたね。
I saw you here at one of the meetings.
ラオ州
You
の
are the
指導
Lao
です
Shu's
ね
leader, I
深夜
presume.
ああ
Indeed.
今日はどうして
What
ここ
brings you
へ
here today?
確かめに来たシスター
Just came to confirm.
お前は何を
Sister,
知っている
what do you know?
What do you mean? Sister Sophia is.
口を挟むな
Silence.
俺も単なる
I
気まぐ
didn't
れ
come
で
here
足
to
を
waste
運んだ
time.
わけではない
Okay. Yes, sir. Don't talk to me like that. This isn't your route. You don't get to boss me around. I'm making up my mind here.
この教会は昔からファルツォーネと交易にしてき
This
た
church has been close to the Foul Zone for
性格は
generations.
そう同じとす
The
る
truth
者同
is,
士
their
便宜を
origins
図
are
って
one
きた
and
ん
the
だ
same.
100年200年どころ
The
では
two
ない
have been working together since the establishment of this town,
連綿とこの教会は
which
1000
means
年以上も
the church
昔
has
か
been
ら
connected with the
ファ
Foul
ルツォ
Zone
ーネ
for
と
more
つ
than
な
a
がりがあ
century.
る
Good deduction skills. I recalled Sister Sophia saying something about that a while back. I was just surprised by how much Yang knew about the church and the Foul Zone situation.
教国はファルツォーネの使命と
I heard that the
風
church
の
shared
花について
information with you
あ
about
な
the
た
Foul
たちに
Zone
情報を
family's
開示し
mission
たと伺っています
and the Key Maiden.
でしたら
If
少し
so,
くらいお話ししてもい
I
いでしょ
suppose I
う
can elaborate a little
私の
bit.
知識など
Mind
些細
you,
なものですが
there's only so much I know. With that, she began to speak quietly.
はるかな昔
Long ago, the Foul Zone's ancestors were chased from Rome and fled to this land.
彼の行いを
The
信じ
people
て
who
つい
shared
て
their
きた人
beliefs
々の
followed
営み
and created what is now known as
の
Berlone.
やがて
Soon after,
祈りの
the
家を
people
建て
sought
た
a place
人
of
々によって
worship, which
この
led to
教会
this
は建てられ
worship,
ました
which led to this church.
この地に移り住んだ
Those who
者は
moved here were very pious, devout believers of God. Similarly, they held great respect for the Falzone family.
生物とやら
I
を持
assume
って
it's
いた
because they possessed the relic.
前に唾を
I
つける
still find it
夢
hard to
の中に
believe it
しか聞かないん
exists.
だ
そうかもしれませんね
You may be right, Signor.
過去に奇跡に触れた
Perhaps
者
only
だけが
those who have experienced
その
miracles
存
can
在を
believe its
信じられる
existence.
のかもしれない
お前は奇跡に触れたことが
And you
あ
have
ると
experienced
聞い
miracles,
てみた
have
い
you?
ところだがまあい
Fine.
い
Go on.
Hi, Blazing Fire. How are you? Look at my murder husband. He's so pretty. You're not late. You're just on time. You arrived exactly when you needed to. Murder husband's on the screen.
You're locked in the editing dungeon. He do be pretty. We love him.
本題はどうし
What's
てこの
really
教会が
important
この女
is
を
why
保護
this
してい
church
た
is
のか
protecting this woman. That came out of nowhere. Yang didn't even glance at me as he spoke. You have such disdain for me. I love it. Ignore me more.
ファルツォーネと通じてい
You're
たのは
connected with the Falzone
この
family,
女が鍵の
so
乙
you
女だ
knew
と
she
最
was
初
the
から
key
知って
maiden.
いたのだね
Yes?
ええ、知っています。
Yes, I knew.
その上で
The reason the church took the responsibility of the key maiden is. Sister Sophia hesitated a bit, then continued to speak with resolve.
よく聞いてくださいね。
I want you to listen carefully, Pink.
これは
After
あ
all,
なたにも
you have not heard
初
this
めて知る
before.
話です。
Sophia!
先代の鍵の乙女はファルツォーネにとって重要な人物だと知られたことで
Sounds good.
襲われました。
Fire. Lurk away. I will be here. Reading this story to you. If I say something out of pocket, that's just what I do when I read this game. The previous key maiden was attacked after it became known she was important to the Foul Zone. You've never heard this before. Stay away from bad boys. Whoops. But Mama Sophia, I love the worst one of them all. Okay. The previous key maiden was attacked after it became known she was important to the Foul Zone.
彼女のご両親はその
Her
最後に
parents were
亡くなっ
killed
てい
at
ます。
that time,
そして
so she and her younger brother were placed under the Foul Zone family's custody.
ファルツ
I gasped hearing her words. Wait, Sister Sophia. Do you know the previous key maiden's name?
ええ、
Yes,
確か
I believe it
クロエ
was
と
Chloe.
そういう
I see. Look at you up in that corner there, Yang, being a little creeper. Yang looked quite surprised as well. His golden eyes narrowed.
質問の続きだシスター
Another question to you,
先代
sister.
の女は
This
ファルツォーネで保護され
predecessor,
たのだろう
I can read. This predecessor was under the Foul Zone's custody.
ならばなぜ
In that
本来は
case,
教会に身を
why
置い
is
てい
this
る
one living at the church?
それは
Well, Sophia looked quite uncomfortable. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath before answering.
それは先代の乙女が
It is
ファルツォーネで暮ら
because
す
the
うちに
previous key
心を
maiden
病んでしまった
went
から
mad
です。
living with the Foul Zone.
先代のファルツォーネ当主は
The previous Foul Zone's boss regretted having brought the key maiden to live in the manor.
同じ鉄を踏まないよう
He asked that the church care for the new key maiden to avoid such a tragedy from happening again.
心を病んだ
Went mad.
なるほど
I see. You, sir. Why you gotta be like this? Why you gotta be so creepy and so sexy? I literally had to take a drink of water. Not just because I was thirsty, but because my throat needed it. The Yang voice is hard, okay? Everything I'm saying just makes it worse. Yang tried to hold back his laughter.
滑稽な話だ
What
お前たちの信じる
irony.
ものは哀れ
Your
な女の
beliefs
一
were
人
not
を
enough
救
to
っただ
save
け
the
だっただ
soul
け
of a poor girl. Don't say that, Yang.
ほう
Oh,
真実を語って
I
も
only
いいだ
speak
ろ
the
うよ
truth.
神の救いは与えられ
Salvation
る
from
ものでは
God.
なく
Nope. Salvation from
信
God
じること
comes
と
to
とも
those
に
who act on their
それを
faith.
つかむあなたもそうやって生きてき
I
たので
believe that fits your way of life as well,
神
which
は
mean
等
God
しく
looks upon
見
you
守
too.
っておられます
Hmm? Sophia put him in his place. I love it. He stared blankly as if he lost interest. He then finally gave a slight chuckle.
見守るだけの神に何の価値が
What value is there in a God that only looks?
試練を与え苦
If
し
he
む人を見
watches
下ろ
people
すなら
suffering
悪魔と何
and
も変わり
burdens
は
them
し
with
ないだろ
more,
う
he's no different from the devil. Sophia calmly smiled, listening to Yang's criticism.
きっとあなたは何か誤解しています
You seem to be misunderstanding something.
信仰とは
Faith does not
明
yield
確
a
に
direct
正しい答
answer,
えがあるものではな
nor
いの
does
で
it
す
demand reward.
神を信じる
We
私た
simply
ちは
believe
ただ
and have faith in the results that come from God.
誰にとっても正しい答えなど
You
この世
speak
に
as
は
though
ない
there are no real
何を言い
answers
たい
in
の
this
か
world.
え
Yes? Pink,
あなたはどんな
what
答
is
えを
your
持ってい
answer?
ますか
Yang said that God doesn't save people at all, but I believe that support comes from others on this earth rather than God's salvation. I explained what I felt in my heart as someone who believed in God. Of course, I don't think that asking for help is wrong, but you need to do something yourself to bring about results. Relying on someone else to do everything will stop you from living as a human life. It is true that moving and standing on your own 2 feet can be painful, but our faith and believing in something greater can help support us through it all.
だから助けで
So,
はなく支え
support, not salvation. Hmm? Yes, living together happily and supporting each other. If we all did that, people wouldn't need to be saved. He looked at me in silence. He then looked away and, without a single word, began to leave the church. Sister Sophia?
ええあなたの思うように
Yes,
なさい
as you please. I bowed to her and chased after Yang. Yeah, we did. Every route, I'm chasing Yang. Yang, are you leaving already? He stopped and turned around. His emotionless eyes stared at me, like he wanted to devour me. And I would let him. Yang? I wasn't even sure he was looking at me. After a moment of silence, he spoke.
救いも助けもない場所で俺は
I've lived in a world where neither salvation nor support
それは
existed.
己の力だ
I lived on my own strength. So, you've lived alone then? But I'm sure someone precious to you will appear to help support you, Yang. I hope that happens soon. Yang snickered at my words, then spoke to me in an ironic tone.
だとすれば急いでも
Well,
らわんとな
they had better
俺は
hurry.
そう長く生きる予
I
定は
doubt
ない
I'll live much longer. Why do I have to be on the not Yang route? I want to support him so bad. Support him with my love and vagina. I'm sorry. I love him so much.
Stop it, will you? You still have so much ahead. We're about the same age, you know.
お前俺をいくつだと
How
思
old
って
do
い
you
る
think I am?
Huh? I hesitantly replied to his sudden inquiry. About 22, 23?
29で
29.
This was about as shocking a revelation as what we discussed earlier. I thought he was a lot younger. I mean, his skin is so smooth and silky. I heard that people in Asia often look much younger, but I didn't expect it from him. Really, protagonist? Oh, then how old are the twins?
さて
Who knows?
15くらいじゃ
I
ないか
assume they're around 15.
I thought they were a lot younger too.
Yang,
Yang, how come you didn't tell us you were going? You're so mean. You were gonna leave us behind, weren't you? Noticing Yang, Fei and Lan ran towards him from the garden. Orlok was right behind them and stopped next to me.
疲れた。
unbelievable.
あちこち勝手に入って
They went everywhere and tried to touch everything too.
触ろうと頑張って
I did my best to stop them. It was hard.
Thank you, Orlok. I really mean it. I appreciated all Orlok had done, which was clear by the exhaustion on his face. I could only imagine how tough it must have been. I looked at Yang, who looked quite bothered by the twins running in circles around him.
うっとうしいあまり騒ぐ
What a
な
nuisance.
お前たち
Shut
の
up
教会に
already.
引き取ってもらえば
I
よ
should
かった
just leave you two here.
Hey, that's mean. You're the one who found us, Yang.
勝手についてきた
No,
の間違
You
い
two
だろ
followed me.
I guess you can say that. Before Yang turned to leave, he looked at me and began to speak.
Pinker.
What is it?
神を信じる気はかけらもないが
I don't believe in
話なら
God.
少し
A
興味が
God.
湧いた
But what you said was quite interesting.
Maybe it was just my imagination, but the smile he had on his face was much calmer and softer than his usual smile. Maybe it was just me. Yang and the noisy twins left the church. He loves me.
誰かいねえか
Anyone around?
I looked around the empty church. A silhouette appeared from around the corner. Yes? Ah, Marco.
おおソフィア
Hey,
今話
Sophia.
せるか
Do you have a minute?
ええ、外に出ましょう。
Why, yes. Outside then, perhaps.
聖堂でのおしゃべりはご
Chatting in the church. Inside the church is frowned upon, but
俺たちの他に誰もいない
Sophia's as careful as ever,
相変わらず
making sure no one is around to hear us.
なんてことを言うと
Then again,
俺の方が不満
if I tell her not to worry, she'll give me a hard time for not being prudent.
シルビオが死んでからハルツオーネに行く回数
I haven't been to this Falzone Manor for years, not since Silvio died.
あいつは俺のことこっちの都合なんて
Seems like only yesterday he'd just call me on a whim to come over.
あの方は
Well, he did call you there as a friend, rather than as an officer. Signor Falzone. No, Silvio was a very fine leader, but I'm sure he showed a different side of himself when he was with you.
あいつが今のダンテと同じ
All I know is that Dante's more serious for his age, even when compared to Silvio.
Well,
I can vouch that Silvio wasn't so calm back when he was younger.
ああ、見
Right?
た目によらず
I
とにかく
mean,
早いし、
he used to get into fights and did all sorts of stupid stuff.
俺は何かと世話を焼い
It
て
was
たもん
such a
だ。
pain covering for him.
焼かされたこ
Heck,
とが
I
正しい
think
の
he
か
was
な。
doing it on purpose to make me work.
シルビオが変わったのは
But Silvio changed so
彼が
suddenly.
過去になってから
It was after he
でしたね
became a boss, wasn't it?
そうだな。
Yeah,
嫁もら
and he
って
changed
ダ
even
ンテ
more
が
when
生
he
まれた
got
ら
married and had
また少
Dante.
し変わった。
I smiled, reminiscing about the past.
ダンテが生まれた時は
When Dante was born, Silvio was insufferable.
泣いただの笑っただ
He
の
kept calling me each time Dante cried,
い
or
ちいち
laughed,
ソニまで電
or
話して
when he
きてよ。
first walked.
シルビオは
He was
子供
very
でした
attached
から
for
ね
sure,
そのくせ子供には
and
そ
yet
の顔を見せ
he
ない
never
からな。
showed that to his kid.
あいつも
He
めんど
was a
くせえ
real
性格
pain.
してたわ。
Hmm.
と、
Ah,
話し込んじまった
sorry
な。
about that,
外
Sophia.
は冷えるってのにす
I
まね
kept you out in the
ソフィア。
cold too long. Too long. I can't talk, you guys.
いいえ
Not
久
at
々
all.
に懐かしい
I
話
have to
がで
thank
きま
you
した
for helping
あ
me
りがとうござい
revisit
ます
fond memories, Marco.
何かあったらいつでも呼んでくれ。
Well,
チャオ、
call me
ソ
if
フ
you
ィア。
got something. Ciao, Sophia.
え
Yes?
ボナセーラ
Buonasera, Marco. I quickly headed back to the station.
すみませんシニョーレ
Excuse me, Signor.
Huh?
Huh? I stopped and turned towards an unfamiliar voice. No, what happened? Can I watch these? Proximate. We were on our way back from the church. Yang said he needed to go somewhere and left us
あ
alone.
の人徘徊癖があるからね
He
一人
sure
で散歩で
wanders a
もする
lot.
んでしょ
Guess he just wants to be alone. We don't have to worry about Yang, that's for sure.
問題は
The one to really worry about is
ランが少し
Lan doesn't look good.
ラン
Lan,
実は気にしてるでしょ
it's bothering you, right?
お前たちも教会に引き取って
What
もらえば
Yang
よか
said
ったな
before
って
about leaving us at the church? No. Why would that bother me?
ふん
Hmm.
バレバレなんだけど
It's so obvious. I looked out into the street and saw some food stalls around.
今ベレーノにはほとんど
Valeno doesn't have many food stalls outside.
さすがあるか
Must mean Arca is pretty
治安は
safe.
マシみたい
Lan was dragging her feet ahead of me, so I ran to one of the food stands.
おじさん
Hey,
菓子買うよ
I'll buy 2 of these, the round ones. I paid for the snacks, then chased after Lan. Lan was walking really slow. I caught up to her in an instant.
ほらラン
Here, Lan,
お菓子
they're snacks.
お腹
You're
空いたで
hungry,
しょ
right? You
僕
can
も
have the big
あ
one.
げるよ
Huh? Ooh, snacks. How did you get them? Magic? Oh, she's so cute.
買ってきたんだよ
I bought them.
確か
See the? Was it? I think everyone calls them. Wow. It has honey on it. Munch time. Lan's smile was back.
ランお前
Lan, you're too easy to read.
普通にしてても
You're not even trying to hide your
バレバ
feelings.
レ
Mm. Lan choked on her Sita and stared at me with a surprised look on her face.
特に僕はお前の双子
Hey,
だからね
I'm your twin, you know.
ランの
I
考
can
え
read
なんて
you like a book.
無理に元気なふりしても
It's no use faking your feelings in front of me. No, they're twins.
ね何それ
What are you saying?
私だって
You know, I know what you're thinking too.
うん
Oh,
当ててみてよ
then what am I thinking?
わかった
I
お
know.
姉さん可愛かったね
The girl at the stand was pretty.
おじさんだったよ
I was an old man. Hmm.
大外れ
You lose.
Hey, what? Cut it out.
ランを元気にするのは僕
It's
の
my
役
job
目
to
だよ
keep Lan happy.
ランを守るのは
It's also my
僕
job
の
to
役
protect
目だ
her.
よねじゃあ今度こそ当てるよ
Well, I'll get it right next time.
どうせ当たんないよ
No, you won't. Ugh, I hate you, Faye. That came out of nowhere. I was surprised at how painful her words were to me.
嘘よ
I lied.
私の背
You're the
中を任
best.
せられ
You're
る
the
のは
only one who has my back, Faye.
そんなの当たり前だよ
You don't need to tell me that.
ランみたいな向こう水
No one else
僕
can
の
cover
幸せに
you
は
with
超えないよ
how all over the place you are. The twins are so mean to each other and so loving to each other. Best.
ランみたいなのと一緒にいられるのは
The only one who can be with Lan
僕だけ
is me.
だよ
Okay, that got weird. Disappear? I happened to glance at my desk. Something was missing. Oh, he found out that his picture's gone. He's not happy. Uh-oh. 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 Boop doop. Their sudden visit was surprising, but it was also quite illuminating. The previous Key Maiden's parents were killed. That's why she was in the Falzone family's custody. Her name? Chloe Lambert. The following day, I was with Elena, sweeping the entrance to the church. Elena spoke worriedly to the elderly woman who came to offer her prayers.
おばあさんすごく大荷物ね
That looks very heavy. Do you need help?
大事なものと必要なものを選んでいたら
Oh, it's just a bit big because it has all the things I need. Are you going to move somewhere?
家はそのままさ
I'm leaving the house as it is. I'll be staying with my daughter in Arca for a while.
私はずっと
I lived all my life in Creta, but now the place has only gotten worse.
ひどい
Worse? Oh, yes. You should see all the riots that happened there.
朝早くなら
I left early because I knew not many people would be outside.
たんだよついでに
I wanted to come and say my prayers too. I see.
クレタは今
I didn't know Creta was in such a state. Elena's voice was heavy. I was sure she was feeling the same anxiety I was. We gathered at the refectory as usual to have lunch that Elena prepared.
大丈夫
Pink, are you all right? Huh? About what?
さっきから何も食べてない
You haven't eaten anything yet. Oh. I realized I had been thinking the whole time since we sat. I'm sorry. I think I was just in a bit of a daze.
お姉ちゃん大丈夫
Sis, are you all right? Are you sick or something?
帰ってきてからあなたは
You've been working hard since your return. Why not take a rest for today? Elena, Orlok, the children, even Sister Sophia were worried about me. Thank you. I'm so blessed to have them in my life. Their kindness brought warmth to my heart. But now is not the time to take things easy. I didn't know why, but something didn't feel right. That was why I had been deep in thought the whole day. In fact, this odd feeling had been with me since breakfast.
また考え事
Pink, what are you thinking about?
Oh, nothing. It's just that something feels strange.
Hmm?
Oh, don't mind me. I think I just need to get some fresh air, that's all. I leave the kitchen. Orlok followed me with a concerned look on his face. Luca! My baby boy! Luca! As I stepped out into the yard, Luca came wobbling up.
あれ、あん
Huh?
たビスコンティにいるんじゃなかった
I
のか
thought you were at the Visconti Manor. Something's happened, and now I'm back.
あなたの知り合い？
Do you know him?
Yes, he's a very nice boy. Luca, what brings you here today? It was unusual to see Luca around Arca. Were you going to see Gil? Or did you have something? Luca! I quickly grabbed a hold of Luca before he fell to the ground. He's burning up. I swear to God, game. I swear to God. If he dies in this route, I will quit this game. I won't see this game through. I will quit. I'll be done. This is my favorite character in this game. If he dies in the finale route, we're done. Okay? Do you understand, PioFiore? Don't screw with me. Ugh. Luca was limp in my arms, and it looked like he was in a daze. Orlok, please help me. I need to carry him to my room.
わかった。
Understood.
Orlok nodded. His slight but powerful body easily lifted Luca into his arms. Ugh. Ugh. Luca was panting heavily.
この高熱は
It looks like he's afflicted with malaria. Malaria?
早くお医者様に見ていただかないと。
We need to have a doctor see him.
Elena is calling for the doctor now. Suddenly, the door flew open and Elena came running inside. Elena, what's the matter?
あ、電話がかからないの
The phone. It's not working. I left with Elena to the refractory to test the phone again. But,
ほら、うんともすん
see?
とも言わないの
Nothing happens when I dial. Like Elena said, it didn't work. What is going on? We didn't have time to be standing in front of the phone that wasn't working. Elena, can you please help Sister Sophia out?
あなたはどうするの
What are you going to do? I have a plan. I left Elena and ran out of the refractory.
どうするつもり？
Pink, what are you planning to do?
Orlok. Orlok called my name the moment I stepped outside. I didn't notice he followed me. He must have known what I was thinking, because he was frowning at me sternly. If the phone doesn't work, someone has to go and get the doctor directly. Orlok, I'm sorry, but can you go get the doctor? I recalled how fast Orlok could move, back when I saw him in action at the church. He could surely go get the doctor faster than I could. Berlone also wasn't very safe at the moment. I was certain that Orlok could be able to cope with any unexpected events. This might be the best course of action.
俺を頼ってもらえるのは、
I'm happy you're relying on me.
もし自分で行く
I was worried you were about to say that you were going by yourself.
と思ったし、
Then,
けど
But I can't fulfill your request. Orlok! Orlok looked vexed.
俺もあの子を助けてや
I
り
want
た
to
い
help him too.
普通の状況なら
Under normal
病院
circumstances,
に行く
we should send for a doctor.
けど今
But
はそうじゃない
things aren't normal here.
今
My
やる
mission
べ
is to
き果た
protect
すべ
you.
きことは
I don't care about your mission right now,
守ること
sir. Go get a doctor for my child. Orlok,
俺は教会を離れるわけにはいかない
so I can't leave you at the church. Are you sure you can't?
どうしても
Yes. I want and need to protect you. If something happens,
あなたに何かあればロズベルグ芸家にも
I won't be able to answer to Bishop Rosberg and everyone who trusted me.
期待に応えられ
I'm
な
sorry. I can't fulfill your requests. But please, I hope you understand. I don't understand. And I'm very mad right now. And I swear to God, game. I promise you, if anything happens to my baby boy, we're going to have a fight.
分かってくれた
Do you understand? No. Yes, I do. So, I suppose I'll have to go after all. Pink,
何が分かった
what are you? Don't worry. I understand what you said. Your job is to protect me, and you can't leave me here at the church. So if I go and get the doctor myself,
ついていくし
I would have to
か
follow
ない
you.
けど
You can't be serious. It'll be fine. I smiled in response at his confusion. And I'm the fastest runner at the church. Not that I can beat you, though.
でも
No, I can't let you
ダメ
leave.
だやっぱり今のブルローネは
Berlone
どこ
isn't
でさえ
safe,
安全とは
and
言え
Arca
ない
isn't much better. Yes, it's dangerous out there. But I need to go. Luca needs a doctor now.
But-
Wait. I'm so sorry. I rushed out of the church's grounds, leaving Orlok behind me. Really? After leaving the church for a while, we could hear the clamor of people shouting.
騒ぎが起きてる
There's a
この道
riot.
は使えない
We can't go
遠
there.
回りになるけど
It's a bit farther, but we can go.
おい見ろよあれビスコンティの女じゃないか
Hey, look. Isn't that the Visconti's girl?
偽札マフィアの女だって
That counterfeiting mobster's woman. What's she doing here? We were immediately surrounded. Their eyes were burning with anger.
なああんたちょっと俺と
Hey, come with.
触れるな
Don't touch her. No, Orlok. I tried to restrain Orlok, seeing that his eyes were dead serious. His hand was in his coat, holding the hilt of his dagger.
なんだ俺たちとやろうってのか
What? You want to fight? Stupid brat. I'll kick your ass. The men started to surround Orlok.
ほら邪魔だ
Get out of the way. Ah! He pushed me down to the ground. Pink. The crowd moved between us.
マフィアの女ってことは俺たちから
I bet you're having fun with our money, damn mafia.
いや待て教会の子じゃ
No, wait. She's the girl from the church.
女だったのか
She's a mafia woman.
はあなんだよそれ教会じゃ
Wait,
男をたぶらかす
So what?
教育でも
The
してる
church is
ってか
teaching her how to handle men or something?
マフィアとね
I didn't expect the church to be working with the mafia. Disappointing. Insults came from all directions. Retaliate. We aren't like that. I didn't care if they spoke ill of me.
But I couldn't just let them go on about the people at the church. The church is the house of God. The sisters are innocent. How dare you all say that when you know better? Uh, talking back just because you got the mafia behind you? Damn bitch, take this. One of the men in the crowd went into a rage and raised his fist at me. I closed my eyes, ready for pain to strike. Uh, but the pain I imagined never came. What the? Get out of my way. Ah! His fist struck not me, but the person who jumped in to protect me. Henry! My baby! Henry! I held back a scream as I supported his staggering body. Be gone. What? Why? You. Ugh. Orlok used brute force. Well, now we have to kill them. Right? As he approached. Orlok used brute force to tear away the mob as he approached.
行こう。道は俺が切り開く。
Let's go. I'll clear the way. Come with us. We followed after Orlok as he cleared a path, with me holding Henry up along the way. Orlok finally came to a stop after we could no longer hear the mob behind us. Suddenly, Henry shook off my arm. Are you okay?
すまない。
Yes, forgive me. Why was he apologizing? He got hurt protecting me. If anything, I should be the one apologizing.
その人は
Pink? Who is he?
確か前も教
I
会に
recall seeing him at the church before. I replied to Orlok. Yes, I know him. I don't want to drag him into this. I kept my reply simple and vague.
あなたは彼女を守ってくれた人だけど
I know you protected her, but I can't
無条件で
trust
信じる
simply because of that.
もし彼女に何かすれば
I won't let you go if you do anything to her. Orlok! Stop threatening everyone! You're so murder happy. Orlok! After holding Henry back, Orlok turned to look at me.
お願いだから
Please,
戻ろう
let's head back. No, no, no. Please, let's head back. It's too risky to get a doctor like this. I'm sorry, Orlok, but Luca was still suffering from a fever. His malaria wasn't just going to vanish. It would only worsen over time. I needed to get a doctor to him before it was too late. We've come this far already. We can't just turn back now. Orlok's brow furrowed when...
あれこんなところで何してるんです
Huh? What are you two doing here? Leo! What are you doing here?
ああ俺はちょうど教会に食料を届けに行くところだったんですけど
I was just heading to the church to deliver some supplies. Leo was looking at us curiously, so I briefly explained the situation. After I Orlok suggested a plan.
あなたは彼と一緒に教会に戻って
You go back to the church with him.
医者は俺が
I'll get the
呼んでくる
doctor.
今は時間が惜しい
We don't have much time.
騒ぎが
Hurry.
ここまで波及してこない
We need to act before another riot.
俺に護衛を任せるってことだよな
You want me to guard her? Leave it to me, Orlok. Leo's such a good guard. Look at that baby face. He'll murder anyone. He'll murder people. He's a good boy. Thank you, Leo.
And I'm sorry, Orlok. Don't apologize to him. He was gonna let a child die. We are not on Team Orlok right now.
謝らなくていい。
Don't
あなたが
apologize.
無事なら
I'm fine as long as you're safe. I am only fine if Luca lives. If he dies, I hate you, Orlok. Orlok smiled, then quickly ran off to get the doctor. Before I knew it, he disappeared from sight.
俺たちも急ぎましょう。
We'd better get moving.
そっちの人も
Oh,
一緒ですか？
is he with you too?
私は
I. Yes, he saved me earlier.
わかりました。安
Got
心して
it.
くださいね。
Well,
二人とも
don't worry.
俺が
I'll get you
守り
both
ます。
back safely to the church. Elena was pacing back and forth in front of the church. Pink! She ran towards me.
よかった。
I'm so glad you're
や
safe.
っぱりお医者様を呼び
You
出
went to
してい
get the
たのね。
doctor, didn't you? Yes, but there was a problem along the way, so I had to come back.
騒ぎに
Problem? Elena looked concerned. She finally noticed there were two other people with me.
レオと
Oh, Leo,
とも一緒だったの
and
ね。
you're with her too. Henry gave a troubled smile. Orlok went to get the doctor instead.
そう。
I see.
とにかく
Well,
あなたが無事で
I'm
よか
just
った
glad
わ。
that you're safe, Pink.
でも心配ね。
It's too bad the
電
phone
話さえ
didn't
つな
work.
がれば
The
すぐに
doctor
来て
could
も
have
らえ
been
た
here
の
by
に。
now. I doubt the doctor would have come here alone with the way things were now. Now that I think about it, having Orlok go get the doctor was probably the right call.
あの、電話つながらないんです。
Your phone doesn't work? I can take a look at it.
俺が見てみましょうか。
Huh?
見てわかるの？
You know how to fix it?
まあ、普通の故障く
Well,
らいだったら
if it's
なんとか
something
できる
minor,
かもし
I
れ
should
ない
be
です。
able to get it working again. Oh, Leo, you're so reliable. I love you so much. You're such a good baby.
すごい。ぜひお願いして。
Wow.
こっちに来てくれる？
Would you then? Here, this way.
先に台所に寄ってもらってもいいです？
Oh, but can I go to the kitchen first? I have some supplies for you. Elena and Leo talked as they made their way to the refectory. Henry and I were now alone together. Henry, let me check your injury.
いや、大した怪我じゃない。
No, it's nothing
自分は無
serious.
事に教会にたどり着いたことだし。
You've reached the church safely, so I'll excuse myself. No, please, let me treat you now. It's my fault. Henry hesitated at first, but then finally nodded in agreement. Well, let's go to. The kids at the monastery may be frightened to see someone injured like this. It was probably not a good idea to have too many people around Henry either. The church. I'm sure no one's in there now. With what had been going on, hardly anyone came to visit, even during the daytime.
わかった。
Understood. I'm gonna take his shirt off in the church. The church was completely empty. He looked at the font near the entrance. But he didn't make the sign of the cross and simply headed to one of the pews. Huh? When entering the church, we usually use the water in the font to bless ourselves. Why didn't he do it? I've seen him here a number of times, but was he not a believer? Questions started forming in my mind. Wait a moment. Let me get a towel. After seeing Henry nod, I hurried to the dormitory to get a towel. I quietly opened the door and was greeted by Sister Sophia. I just came to see how Luca was doing.
今のところは落ち着いています。
He's been stable so far. Things should be fine for now. I held Luca's small, warm hand and whispered close to his ear. Just a little bit longer, Luca. Orlok should be back with the doctor any minute now. I gently touched Luca's sleeping face. Mending. What's going on? Coffee.
この電話自体は壊れてません。どこもおかしくないみたいです。
The phone looks fine. I don't see anything wrong with it.
そうなの？
Really?
でも
But it doesn't work.
ってことは、
Then maybe. I checked the whole phone, in and out. A possibility came to
も
mind.
しかしたら電話線が切られてるのかも。
Maybe the phone line is
建物
severed.
の裏に
Let me
回
check the
ってみましょう。
connections.
Oh,
じゃあ
okay.
こっちに
This way. I gently touched Luca's sleeping face. Then I took a towel from the cabinet and headed back out. Someone cut our phone line. I returned to the church halls with a clean towel and a bowl of water in hand. Henry was sitting in a pew, looking at the altar in a daze. It didn't seem like he even noticed me enter. I called out to him. Henry. I quietly spoke his name. He slowly looked my way. Does it still hurt?
そうではないよ。気遣いには感
I
謝する。
appreciate your asking, but that's not it.
少し
I was just
昔を思い出していただけだ。
remembering things.
聖堂に入るのは
It
久
has
しぶり
been a
だ。
while since I have been inside a church.
Really?
ああ、
Yes,
He didn't come inside the church after all those times. He came to visit? I guess Henry isn't a believer after all. That's quite unusual. Apart from the Lao Shu, most of the people in Europe followed the teachings of the church. Oh, here, it should be cold enough. I awkwardly sat next to Henry and tried to push the cool towel against his head. Henry suddenly drew away from me. Huh? I didn't expect Henry's reaction at all. He spoke without looking at me.
やはり手当ては必要ないよ。
I don't require any treatment.
先ほども言ったが、
As I said,
大した怪我でも
it isn't a serious
痛
injury.
みもないから大
It
丈夫。
doesn't hurt anymore.
Huh? Of course it hurts. Isn't it swollen?
いや、問題ない。
No, it really isn't.
It's fine. Hold still. CG time. I forced the towel to the side of his head. Look at that pretty man. Look at how pretty he is. Henry held his breath in surprise and froze in place. I heard him say something. Does it hurt? I thought he said something, but I probably shouldn't ask him about it. I continued, Does it hurt?
いや、
No,
冷たさに驚い
I'm
た。
just surprised by how cold it is.
The hall filled with silence. I looked at his face as he averted his gaze. Thank you for protecting me, Henry. You warned me so often not to get involved with the mafia, but I didn't listen to you. This town was in distress, just as Henry predicted. You gave up on me back then, after I denied what you said, but you still protected me, even at the risk to your life. Thank you, and I'm sorry. Henry listened to my words, in silence, then finally turned towards me.
私が正しかったと理解しても
And you still won't change your
君はまだ自
ways,
分を曲げないつもりか
even knowing I'm right? Yes. There are things that need to be done, no matter the risks involved. It was the same today. I could have lost my life, but I still needed to go on.
そんな気がしていたよ
I thought you'd say that. Damn, boy, how open is your shirt? Henry exhaled deeply and gave a mirthless chuckle. You're going to forgive me?
許すも何も
There's nothing to
君の
forgive.
行動を縛る
I don't have a right to bind you to any actions.
だろ
As open as it needs to be for access. I mean, it needs to be all the way unbuttoned for that access. I took the now warm towel from his head and dipped it into the bowl of water again. Squeezing the towel dry, I squeezed the towel dry, then placed it back onto the swollen bruise. Henry? I decided to say what I wasn't able to before. What happened before has been bothering me. You remember how we parted ways after you tried to warn me? You told me we probably wouldn't meet again, so I thought it was the end. So when I saw you here again, I was surprised and happy to see you. I suppose it's not surprising we'd meet again by chance. We do live in the same town. I'm glad we were able to meet again. He was quiet the whole time I was talking. Maybe we met today because
神様のお導きだとで
God brought us together. I froze, forgetting what I was going to say. His voice was cold and ruthless. His eyes were devoid of life. I don't know, they look pretty full of life to me. Take away that eye shine to make them more lifeless. Oh, Pink, there you are. Elena, do you need something?
オルロックがお医者様を連れてきてくれたわ
Orlok came back with the doctor. Thank goodness.
早く行きましょうあ
Let's go.
でも
Oh, but wait,
その人あなたの知り合いなのよね
isn't he your friend? Yes. Yes. I wanted to go and make sure Luca was okay, but I couldn't leave Henry alone. It's my fault he got hurt.
じゃああの子のことは
Well,
私たちが
we'll be
見
with
て
the
おくから
doctor to make sure things are okay. He must have noticed my hesitation. Henry silently removed the towel from his head.
痛みは引いたもう帰
The
らない
pain has subsided. I must get going. But you should rest and...
いやこれ以上
No,
とどまるつもりは
I don't intend to stay any longer. Also, this man doesn't know how to do up buttons, okay? Look at him. The top 3 buttons of his shirt are undone. The bottom button of his shirt is undone. His 2-button suit jacket has 1 button undone. His shirt's not tucked in, so the bottom button of his shirt that is done up is like rumpled. Like this man is a mess and a menace.
And we love that for him and me. He's just going to let me rip the buttons of his shirt open. And he's going to be like, oh no, that happened.
暗くなる前に帰らなければ
It's going to get dark
夜じゃ
soon,
決して
and I would rather avoid walking around at night. Of course. Please be careful. Without a word, Henry left the church. Ah! The doors to the church closed slowly. I'd better go check on Luca. Despite trying to shake off my thoughts, I felt a pang in my heart.
神様のお導きだ
God brought us together. His cold words echoed in my mind. If I don't go after Henry now, I probably will never see him again. Pink? I'm sorry, Elena. Can you go ahead of me? I hurriedly ran outside and gave chase. Henry was gone. He left already? I couldn't leave the church grounds alone. With a sliver of hope remaining, I ran to the garden. Henry! I sighed in relief, seeing him there. Seeing me run towards him, Henry's eyes were wide in astonishment.
よかったのか呼ばれていたのに
Are you all right? I thought you needed to go. Yes. I nodded. I looked at Henry's bewildered face. About what we discussed earlier. I don't think we met today because of God. It was because I wanted to see you, Henry. So maybe I was just lucky. I was a little embarrassed, but I smiled. Of course, I don't think it was luck, but Henry looked so sad earlier, so probably. Henry looked at me without saying a word. After some time passed,
だとしたら私もラッキーだな街中
if
で
so,
偶然君を見
then
つけ
luck
られ
must be
た
on my side too. I happened to see you in town today.
自分の運に感謝しよ
I'd better thank luck. Oh, you're so cute. Stop it. Henry's smiling. I'd returned his smile with relief. I think I said all I needed to say for now. Well, I'll see you again, Henry.
うああまた
Yes, again. After our short exchange, I hurried off to see Luca. Oh, plan. Others. Dot, dot, dot.
今さら
I can't change my plans now.
後戻りはできない
There's no turning back. It's too late. A voice called to me as I left the church.
君
You there.
ああ、さっき
Huh?
の
You're that person from earlier.
今日はありがとう
Thank you
お
for
かげ
today.
助かった
That was good timing.
よければ
Do you
君と
have
もう
some
少
time
し
to talk?
話がしたい
We
どう
can
か
converse while
歩き
walking.
ながらで構わないこれから屋敷に戻るところだし
I need to head back to the manor.
い
I don't exactly have all the time in the world.
歩きながらなら
But
まあ
I guess
大
we
丈夫
can
だ
talk while I head back. I couldn't give him the cold shoulder knowing he was friends with Pink.
いいけど
Sure.
話って
What about?
彼女のことだよ彼女
It's
には
about Pinker.
以前も世話になっていてね
She has taken good care of me.
何かお礼をした
I
いと思うんだ
wish と
けど
repay her for her
彼
kindness.
女の好きなもの
Do you know what she likes?
って
好きなものですか
What she likes? I had been with her since back when she was with the Visconti, so it's not that I don't know her. I recalled that she didn't have any likes or dislikes with food, and that she liked baking sweets. That's right, she also took great care of all the clothes she got as gifts. The information I had wasn't much, but I tried to convey all that I could. He nodded, hearing what I had to say. Then he spoke.
彼女がかわいそうでならないよ。親が
I
い
feel sorry for
ずっ
her,
と教会で
hearing
暮ら
that
して
she's
い
been
ると
living
言っ
at the
ていた。
church without any parents.
えっと
Well,
別に親がい
even
ない
if
から
someone
って
doesn't have
かわいそう
parents,
とは限らな
you
いと
don't
思
have
い
to
ます
feel
けど。
sorry for them.
気を悪くしたならすまない。もしかして
I apologize if that came out wrong. Could it be that you.
そうです。俺も親
Yeah,
がいないから
I don't have
彼
parents
女の気
either,
持ちちょっ
so
とわかる気
I
がし
think
ま
I
す。
know how she feels about it.
そりゃもちろん寂しい
Sure,
し、
it's lonely
なんで俺が
sometimes. I know I
どん
could
な
have
こと
asked
もあ
why
りま
me
す。
before,
けど、周囲
but
の人に
I
かわ
don't
いそう
want
なんて
people
思
to
って
feel
ほしく
sorry
ない
for
です。
me. I mean,
少なくとも
I'm
今は
happy with how things
幸
are.
せです。
Oh, baby Leo. I love him so much. He's such a sweet, wonderful boy.
幸せ。どうし
Happy.
てそう思える？
Why do you say so?
俺、少しだけ親のことを
I remember
覚
my
えてるんです。
parents. Just a little.
当時はよくわかんなかっ
I
たけ
didn't
ど、
know back then,
多分親の
but I
給
think
料
my
とかを
parents'
失
work
敗し
went
て
bad.
家に金がなくなって
We lost all our
ガ
money.
キの頃
Before I knew
ス
it,
トラノに捨て
I
られ
was
ま
left
した。
behind in Strano.
親を恨んだこともある。
I cursed them back then, but I was lucky enough that the Falzone family found me.
そこで生きる術を教えてもら
It
いま
was
した。
then I learned how to survive.
あの時
I am who I am because the Falzone boss took me in.
親がいなくたって立派に生きてます。
So now I can live with pride without my parents.
明日の飯の心配なん
I
て
don't
しな
need
く
to
ていい
worry
し、
about food anymore, and I have a warm bed to sleep in at night.
こんなに幸せなことないです。
That's more than enough reason to be happy.
随分とささやかな幸せだね。
I must say, that's very admirable of you. His kind voice sounded like he was praising me. Great. Now I'm blushing. Leo, are you a little bit. I can't do the gesture with this bottle because I don't have body tracking. Imagine I'm doing the hand thing. Someone put a nails emoji in chat.
君はとても頑張り屋らしいな。
You've lived your very best all this time.
いえ、そ
Oh
んなこ
no, it isn't.
でも君がどれだけ頑張ったとしても、ファルツーネでは完璧
Thank you, Cole. Leo, are you a little bit nails emoji? But no matter how much you do, you won't go up in the ranks in the foul zone.
そういう仕組みなのだろ
That's how it is there, right?
と。ええ、まあ、
Yes. Well,
う。なのに、
so why even do your best? Henry! Why are you being like this to baby Leo?
君をもっと評価してくれる場所が他にもあるんじゃないのかな。
Maybe there are other places that would properly reward you for what you do.
いいんです。俺は
It's
気をつけ
fine.
もらった恩を
I just want to repay our boss. To repay Dante for taking me
返したいだ
in.
けですから。
しかし、君には可能
But
性
you
が
have
ある
so much potential.
可能性考え
Potential? Think about it.
ブローネの外にだって
Berlone isn't the only place in the world.
世界は広がっている。マフィア以外にしたいことが
Don't
ない
you
の
want
か
to
な。
do something besides being in the mafia?
そう。
Perhaps live out a childhood dream?
君がまだ両親
Was there anything you dreamed of doing while living with your parents?
それは
Well,
俺大きくなったら船長さんになるんだ。
baby Leo! I want to become the captain of a ship. And I'm gonna sail all over the world. I'll take you with me, Mama, Papa.
よく考えてみて。
Think deeper about your potential. You don't need to end your life in Berlone. My dream back when I was a kid. Things were different now, but memories of my happiness from back then came to mind. Somehow it felt painful, and my chest tightened but I slowly shook my head.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much,
小さ
but
い
I
頃の
left
夢は
behind my dreams when
そ
I
の
was
時の
little.
話だ。今の俺がしたいこととは違うん
What
で
I
す。
dream about now is different. Seeing him smiling, yet seeing his smiling yet concerned face made me smile as
もし
well.
かしたらいつかそういう気持ちになる日が来
You
るか
know,
もしれないですけど、
maybe one day I'll feel the same way I did before.
その時まで
So
こ
I'll
こで
do my
頑張ります。
best until then. With that, we parted ways and I headed back to the Falzone Manor. Oh, thank God. I thought he was going to get stabbed. I was so worried. Like, if someone stabs my baby Weo, they're going to get stabbed instead. That's my baby. And that's not allowed. That's my baby. Boop. Ugh, why bright light? The doctor injected Luca with some medicine. Luca's fever persisted for a while, but then it slowly began to subside. Finally, by morning, his fever settled. As for the phone, Leo said that the line had been cut. He believed it could have been someone against the church and the mafia. Openly doing something against the church would be an insult to God. So Leo felt whoever did it was aiming for a more subtle approach at causing trouble. I looked at Luca's sleeping face, then placed a cool towel on his forehead. Yes? Let me watch him now. You get some rest. You haven't slept, have you? Sister Sophia, you can use my room. I've just changed the sheets for you. Thank you. Please take care of Luca. I appreciated Sister Sophia's kindness and concern and decided to leave Luca's side. Before going to Sister Sophia's room, I found myself heading to the church.
神様のお導きだ。
God brought us together. His eyes were cold and deep as the darkness. He sounded like he was cursing God. But why? I didn't know much about him. But I did know that he was suffering from something deep inside. The town is rife with riots and people getting injured every day. Things had only taken a turn for the worse. I was growing impatient with how things were. Well, it's no use worrying over what I can't do. I'll simply wait until Wednesday. I'll speak with Dante the next time he visits the church. I spent my days helping with the chores at the church and taking care of the kids. The children seem happy I was back at the church again, but...
ねえお姉ちゃん
sis, how come everyone looks so mean when they're praying here? Everyone in Berlin is just having a bad day. That's all. Understatement of the year. I'm sure everyone will be fine soon.
本当
Really? Yes. In fact, a lot of people are doing their best to make the town better now. So, don't you worry.
そっか
Okay,
よかった
that's good to hear. I promised Dante that I won't do things on my own accord. I kept reminding myself of that.
I also wanted to spend more time with the children to ease their worries. I hoped that playing with them would be enough to make them feel a little better. The day finally came. It was Wednesday morning. I woke up early and went outside to the garden. Maybe I came out here too early? Dante was at the graveyard already. Seeing him out here reminded me before when I saw him out here. I just made that line up completely. That was the day he was. That day. That was the day he was here with the bouquet to lay upon the grave. Dante finished saying his prayer, then looked at me. Buongiorno, Dante. You're very early today.
人目につきたくなかったからな。
I don't want the church to be at the center of conflict, so I came earlier than usual.
Dante spoke as if what he was doing was only natural, but I was so moved by his concern. I never expected to see the day I could casually converse with the Valzone boss. But ever since I learned I was the key maiden, I've become closer to him, and now it wasn't unusual to approach him like this. The church is fine so far, though the children are a little scared. How are you doing lately? Have you been busy?
Our clients have been on edge working with us after hearing the rumors here. Some are even saying they don't want to come to Berlin until things settle. So I've been going to Rome and elsewhere to conduct business. Nicola has taken care of things at the manor in my absence.
Hopefully it isn't too stressful, Dante. Seeing that you're here as usual, can I assume things are a bit better now?
いつも
Usual?
Dante tilted his head, hearing my word, then spoke as if surprised.
俺がいつも水曜に来ることを
You knew I come here every Wednesday?
Oh. I was flustered at Dante's question. I'm sorry if that bothers you. I didn't mean to say that I was always watching you. I am always watching, Wazowski. You just sort of stood out.
今日は教会に来る
I made time to come here today and to see how you were
どうして
doing.
いるか気になったから
Really? I didn't expect him to come here for me. For little old me. Then again, now that I look back at it, I felt like Dante had been caring for me all along. It's hard to tell, though, with the stern expression he always keeps on his face. Maybe he is really kind at his core. I felt like I could actually talk to him about what was really on my mind. You know, I've been thinking, maybe we can ask Julia a bit more about this Chloe person. I can't say for sure, but I feel like she's deeply involved with the Falzone family and what's happening now. He looked a bit hesitant, but nodded in agreement.
いいだろう俺も
That's
自分が
fine.
生まれた当時のことはさすが
I
に
don't
話
have
した
any
方がいい
memories of when I was
前回の
born
話も
in any
ほとん
case.
ど初耳だったからな
What we heard before was news to me as well.
現当主として
I suppose I should better understand the Falzone family's history as its leader.
Thank you, Dante. I'm glad you agree. I smiled with relief, at which Dante smiled too. I was on my way to the Falzone Manor with permission from Dante. We discussed a bit before my departure that Orlok would stay behind. He was the only one who'd be able to deal with an emergency if one were to occur. At first, Orlok wasn't pleased to hear that he would stay behind, but Dante convinced him by promising to protect me no matter what.
あら、
Oh my. Julia looked surprised, seeing us visit the kitchen.
ダンテ坊ちゃん。お
Young
客様でし
Dante,
たらサロンに
if you
案
have
内
a
して差し
guest,
上げてく
it's
だ
best
さ
that
い
you
な。
lead them to the salon.
すぐにコーヒーを持
I'll
っていき
prepare
ます
some
ね。
coffee right away. Thank you, Julia, but we came here because we wanted to talk to you. Julia pursed her lips. It seems like she knew what we wanted to ask. I was hoping you could tell us a bit more about the girl that was in the picture, Chloe.
以前にも言いましたが、クロエお嬢さんについては
I believe I
私
mentioned
も
this
あまり
before,
詳しくないん
but
で
I
す
don't know
よ。
much about Signorina Chloe. It can be anything else, however minor. Is there anything else you might remember?
ダンテ坊ちゃんはこちらのお嬢さんを信用なさ
Young
っておいで
Dante,
ですね。
may I assume you trust our young guest here?
ああ
Yes,
たとえファルツォーネの
I'm
何
fine
かを
with
明かさ
sharing
ずにも
information
構わ
about the
ない
Falzone family with her.
話してくれ
Please continue.
わかりました。
Understood.
当時、クロエお嬢
Signorina
さんと
Chloe
リト
and
ン
young
坊ちゃん
Righton
は
were living
シルビオ
here
様
under
に
the
引き取ら
custody
れ
of
て
Signor
このお
Silvio.
屋敷ここまでは以前お
I
話
believe
し
I
しました
mentioned
ね。
it before. Yes,
これはとてもプライベートな話
what I'm
です。
going to tell you is
ファルツォ
strictly
ーネにと
private,
って
even amongst the Falzone family. We're getting a reveal.
今までファミリー外の方に
In
は
fact,
お話しした
I've
こと
never
があり
spoken
ま
about
せん。
this to anyone outside the family.
この話がダン
Mind
テ坊
you,
ちゃんたちの知りたい
I'm
こと
not
と
sure if
関
what
わ
I
り
will
があ
share
る
will
のか
help
ど
you,
うか
but
本当に教える必
I
要
will
があ
share
るのかわ
everything
か
I
り
know
ま
in
せん
hopes
が、
that it may offer
すべて
you
知
some
りたいとおっし
insight.
ゃるのなら
Sheila took a slow, deep breath, then began to speak.
クロエお嬢さん、クロエランベルト
Signorina
さんは
Chloe,
シルビオ
no,
様のことを
Chloe
愛
Lambert,
しておられます。
fell in love with Signor Silvio. Love?
クロエは父の愛人だったのか
Chloe was my father's lover?
いいえ、シルビオ
No.
様とクロエ
Signor
お嬢さんは
Silvio
そもそ
and
も年が
Signorina
10は離れて
Chloe
いましたか
were
ら
more than 10 years apart in age.
シルビオ様は完全
Signor
に
Silvio
年の離れた
treated her like a
妹を可
younger
愛がるよ
sister
うに接して
and
おら
took
れま
very
した
good care of her.
クロエお嬢さんを
By the
引き取
time
った頃には
Signorina Chloe
すで
left,
にベアトリーチェ様と
he was
婚約なさっ
engaged
て
to
い
your
ました
mother,
し
Signorina Beatrice.
婚約者がいようと他に愛人を作ることはいく
But
ら
he
でも
could
できる
have as many lovers as he wanted, even if they were engaged.
坊ちゃん、まさかと思って
It
いま
was
し
a
たけ
question
ど
that lingered in
ご
my
存じな
mind,
かったんです
but
か
you didn't know, did you?
シルビオ様はベアトリーチェ様の
Signor
ことを
Silvio was in love with
それはもう
Signorina
深く
Beatrice.
愛しておられましたよ。あのお二人は政略結婚
Dante
の
speaks
噂
from
が流行ってましたから
experience.
ね。
They weren't simply married, or they weren't married simply because of status and standing.
周囲
Many,
特にベアトリー
including
チェ様のご
Signorina
実家は
Beatrice's
強く
family,
反対
were
されたの
against
で
their
すが、
marriage,
それでもお
and
二人
yet
は愛を
they
貫
loved
い
each
て
other so,
大恋愛
and
の
were
末
finally
ご
wed.
結婚なさった間柄です。
Cole, you need to eat. You best be having a big breakfast. I guess I'm not one to talk. With all my stomach problems, I eat like one meal a day. So I ate when I got home from work at like 6 today, and I left for work at 11:30. But I still ate. I'm gonna have some crispers after I finish stream. So then,
の親類と全く交
the
流がない
reason we have no connections with my mother's side is Probably doesn't help that you only eat like one meal a day, baby. You gotta take better care of yourself and your blood sugars.
最後まで結婚をお認めに
I
なら
heard
な
they
かっ
cut
た
their
ご両
ties with
親とは
Signorina
その
Beatrice
時
after
に
the
絶賛
marriage.
だが
I don't recall father ever showing any grief after my mother's passing.
ええ
Yes,
あの方は
he was a
立派な
very
過去でしたか
respectable
らね
boss. Julia closed her eyes, as if remembering the old days.
人前で弱みは見せられないでしょう
I'm sure you know very
それは
well you can't show
坊
any
ちゃんが
weakness
一
to people
番
as a
ご存知
boss.
なのではそれにシルビオ
Signorina,
様は
Signor
父親です
Silvio was also a father.
誰よりヘンテ坊ちゃ
I
んに
believe he
悲
didn't
し
want
ん
to
でい
show
る
himself
姿を
in
見せ
such
られ
great
ないと
sorrow
思
in
われ
front
た
of
の
his
で
son.
は話が横道に
Excuse
そ
me,
れてしまいま
I've
した
gotten
ね
sidetracked.
とにかく
In
シ
any
ルビオ
case,
様がクロ
I
エ
can
お嬢
state
さ
for a
んに
fact your
恋
father
愛
did
感
not
情を
have
持
the
ってい
same
なかった
affection
の
for
は事実で
Signora
す
Chloe that she did.
一部の人間は
Some knew
彼
that she
女が
looked
シ
at
ルビオ様を慕っている
Signor
ことに気づ
Silvio
いて
with
いま
a
した
longing
が
love, but
憧れの一種だろう
most
と
simply
あ
brushed
ま
the
り本気に
situation
は
off
して
as
い
a
ませ
little
んでした
crush,
ね
fitting for someone her age.
But that wasn't the case, was it? I was compelled to ask her the question because she seemed to imply that it was so. Yeah, Signor Silvio suppressed his emotions.
その後ベアトリーチェ様
Signorina
は
Beatrice
シルビオ
and
様と
Signor
正式に
Silvio
ご結
got married,
ほどなくダンテ坊
and
ちゃんは
soon
身ごもりま
young
した
Dante was conceived.
その頃からです
It was about the
クロエ
time
お嬢
that
さんが
Signorina
身をもっ
Chloe
ておか
began
し
to
くなって
act
いったのは
unusual.
Unusual as in.
クロエお嬢さんとリトン坊ちゃんが話
I
している
overheard
のを
her speaking
聞い
with
た
the
こ
young
とがあり
Righton
ます
before.
私とシルビオは結婚するの
I'm going to marry
運
Silvio.
命なんですもの
It's our destiny.
ねえクロエ
But Chloe,
シルビオ
Signor
は
Silvio's already married.
ええ
Well,
今はそうかも
yes,
しれない
that's true, but
だけど
I'm tied to him by
彼は
fate.
赤いだから
I'm sure he'll sway to my side one day.
クロエ
Chloe,
シルビオは今
Silvio's simply being misled to believe he's actually in love with her.
私にはわかる
I know that for a fact. That has to be it.
ゾッとしました
It brought shivers down my spine.
彼女の唇からは
I could easily tell that she was saying something she truly believed. Soon, she started to giggle, look up at the sky, and would wander the mansion aimlessly through the day and night.
But Chloe, you're underage. This is the plot of 99 different drama movies from the 90s. But Chloe, you're crazy. Listen, they have no reason to enact the miracle to open the thing. Just let this man love his wife. Stop being a menace. Then one day, she caused enough trouble that a maid was assigned to keep her watch over her.
軟禁したというわけ
She was detained.
でも
Indeed.
リトン坊ちゃんとの
But we
面
let
会
her
は
meet
全
young
部許可
Righton
されてい
freely
ました
whenever she wanted.
シルビオ様は
Knowing how
事態を
grave the
重く受け
situation
止め
was,
その兄弟
Senior
を
Silvio
パルツォー
sought
ネ
to
東映
send
の家
her
に養子
them
に
to
出そう
another
とお考えにな
Falzone
りました
family member through adoption.
その矢先クロエお嬢
It was
様は
around then
監視の目を
that
盗んで
Signorina
屋敷を抜け
Chloe
出して
escaped from the manor.
数日後
She was found dead a few days later.
ウルローネの崖から
She fell from a cliff into the sea.
葬儀の後
Young Righton was sent out for adoptions after the funeral. Signor Silvio thought it would only make it difficult for him to live at the manor.
登園というかどの家かわかる
Do you know what family adopted him?
私は一階の使用人です。
It was one of the servants in the family. I'm not sure what happened after that.
I didn't expect such a tragedy to happen here.
Let's redo that. I didn't expect such a tragedy to happen here. I decided to speak to break the silence. Thank you for the information, Julia.
いいえ、私
It's
の
no
話
problem.
が何かお
I
役
hope
に
that
立
what I
てたの
shared
な
can
らいいん
help
で
you.
すが。さあ、
Now that
お
aside,
願いダンテ坊ちゃん。
young
この後
Dante,
あちこ
you
ちお
must
出
be
かけ
tired
になっ
from
て
all
お
your
疲れで
travels.
しょ。
From being a rich to the child welfare system. Totally not traumatic. Yeah, not at all.
今ちょうど坊ちゃんの好
I
きなイチゴを
made
使っ
some
て
Macedonia
マセドニアを作ってい
filled
たん
with
で
your
す。
favorite berries. Ooh. Macedonia, a common Italian chilled dessert made with seasonal fruits. Its name alludes to the diversity of people from ancient Macedonia. Thank you, terminology.
少ししたらサロンにお
I'll
運びし
prepare
ま
a
すから、
potion for
ご
you,
ゆっく
so
りなさ
please
ってく
rest
だ
in the
さいな。
salon.
いや、俺はこのまますぐにで
No,
彼
I
女の
need to
教
get
会に送
going.
り届けなければ。
I have to take her back to the church.
あら、ご一緒していただけばいいじゃあ
Oh,
りません
if
か。
that's the case, why don't you both enjoy some together?
マセドニアならたっ
I
ぷりあ
did
りま
make
す
a
よ。
great deal of it. Hades fruit! Zagreus has been here. Dante doesn't say anything. If it isn't too much of a bother, do you mind if I join? I'd like to speak with you a bit more. Julia trying to hook us up. I
俺
suppose.
はだが話をす
But
る
it's
なら
better
質
that
問
we
して
head to my office. The
サロン
salon
に
can
来て
get
はなら
busy.
いかねない
わかりました。
Understood.
室にお運びし
I'll
ます。
bring your dolce
飲み物は
to the
何になさ
office.
います？
What would you like to drink? May I ask for an espresso? Espresso? I felt like drinking something strong, like an espresso, after hearing Julia's story.
俺も同じにしてくれ
The same for me, please.
え？
Eh?
なんだその反応
What?
だって。
Um,
坊ちゃん
my dear,
おやめになった
perhaps you
方
should
が
have
よろしい
something
の
else.
では？まあ、可愛らしいお
I
嬢
know
様
you're
の前
nervous
で
having
緊張
such a
していらっ
lovely
しゃるの
guest,
かもしれ
but
ませんけど、ご無理は体に
forcing
こす
yourself
るから。
isn't good for you. You don't like espresso, Dante? You don't need to worry about me. By all means, please drink what you like. I always preferred having a sweet cafe latte, but I simply felt like having an espresso today.
いいエスプレッソだ
It's
い
fine.
いなジュリア
An espresso, Julia.
かしこまりました。
Understood.
そんなに格好つけなくてもいいと
I
思いま
don't
す
see why you need to worry about how others see you.
ジュリア
Julia. Yes, yes, I understand.
坊ちゃんはきちんとお嬢さんを
I'll
式に着く
assume
まで
our
エスコートして
gentleman
差し
here
上げてくだ
knows
さ
how
い
to
ね。
properly escort a fine lady to his office.
それくらいはおできになるでしょ。
That would be
もう
what
立
is
派な大
expected,
人ですものね。
especially for an adult such as yourself. She's teasing him so much. He's like, I don't like sweet things and sweet coffee. And she's like, oh, you don't? You're so grown up. You drink espresso. You don't need a sweet cafe latte, Dante. Fine. Look at his blush. Look at his little blush. Oh, thank you, Dante. Dante extended his arm out to me, and I hesitantly took a hold of it. He escorted me. I took a bite of Julia's Macedonia with a slight blush on my face. This tastes good. The sweet fruits and refreshing lemon flavor blended well with the homemade syrup and white wine. The milk and cream gelato paired perfectly with it as well. I'm serious. Yes, you are. You're a big, serious man. Gucci goo. My big, strong, serious boy. Did I skip it? I didn't miss anything. Okay. I glanced at Dante. He was enjoying the dolce with all the elegance and grace you'd expect from a boss. The way he escorted me earlier also seemed to come very naturally to him. I looked at Dante again. He was sipping the espresso with a frown on his face. You don't have to force yourself.
無理なんてしていない。
I'm not. But you don't drink it often, do you?
普段飲まないからといって、
Just because I don't drink it often doesn't mean I can't drink it. I'm drinking it now, aren't I? Well, yes, but it's true you don't really like it, right? Why force yourself? He's so grumpy. Dante doesn't say a word, but his brow twitched. Did I make him angry? After a while, Dante mumbled,
マフィアのカポが甘いもの好きだなんて。
It doesn't look good for a mafia boss to like sweets. Huh?
人が求めるマフィアの姿に
It wouldn't fit the image of a man of honor. Maybe Dante's been suppressing a lot of things to maintain his image. Despite him being stern and sometimes cold, I think he's really kind deep down. Look at his cute little blush. I forget how cute he is sometimes. That kindness is probably indicative of Dante's true self.
世間もファミリーの人間も俺の一挙一
The
動の
public
裏を
and even those within my family have their eyes on me.
俺は若くしてカポ
I took over as boss when I was younger. People were saying that I wasn't fit to be successor of the Falzone family.
俺はこの地のた
I need to be a man fitting of my blood to be the leader of the Falzone family. It sounded as though he was trying to convince himself. Huh, baby? I think everyone shares the perception that the mafia is to be feared. But whether you like sweets or not, or how you feel about better tastes, that just makes you who you are. Everyone is allowed a preference. I'm fairly certain there are bosses who enjoy sweets. I also think there are many out there who simply don't care for espresso. Espresso. I can fucking talk today. Hearing my honest opinion, Dante chuckled, a bit troubled.
お前くらいだ世間はそうは
Maybe to you, but not to the general public. I suppose so. I was raised in the church, so I may not be the same as the public. I looked straight at Dante. I didn't look straight at anything. Who had faced the public many times. What's more scary, a man who drinks hot cocoa during the torture sessions, or a man who whines about drinking espresso during a booty call? A man who drinks whatever he wants and doesn't care what people think. Are you rubbing? Hi, baby. But you've been working hard to fulfill your mission.
使命を背負っているのは
You also have the same mission. No, I didn't know anything until recently. But you've had to think about all these things. You've had to think about it all these years. My life doesn't compare to what you've been through. You fought countless battles with that burden on your shoulders, even now. Dante took a sip of his espresso.
苦い
It's better. I giggled, seeing his adorable frown. My foot's asleep! I needed you to move so I could put my foot down, Nova. Dante chuckled too, then sighed.
少し喋りすぎたな。
I spoke too
俺ら
much.
しくもなかった。
This is not like
お
me.
前と話
It
すのは
seems I can't
話
keep
が滑り
myself
す
from
ぎる
saying
し
these things around you.
Well, we are like comrades, are we? Aren't we?
ファルツォーネ当主である俺にとって同じく使
We
命を
share a
背負わさ
similar
れたお
mission,
前は
even if I am the Falzone family's boss.
対等な存在だと
I
思う。
see you as an equal,
だから
which is why I don't feel the need for a formal address.
Maybe that's why it's difficult speaking with me.
かもな。
Maybe.
He was tasked with this mission as the Foul Zone boss, and so was I as the Key Maiden. Prayer.
Orlok.
なんだよ。勝手に入れって。
What is it?
あ、なんだ。
Oh,
姉ちゃんかと思った。
it's you. I thought it was Sis.
今手が離せないから
Pink isn't available now.
食事
I
も
brought
で
some
きてる
food.
けど
Can you eat?
食欲は
Can I? Luca's eyes widened as he nodded vigorously. My baby. I quietly looked at Luca, grabbing the bread and furiously biting into it.
分かった
I guess you're all better now.
になっ
あ、これでまた仕事ができるぜ。
Yeah, I can start working again. I thought for a moment, hearing Luca's enthusiastic voice.
この教会はルカみたいに
There are a
スト
lot
ロ
of
ノで暮
kids
らす
from
子供を
Strano
フォロー
living
したり
here.
してるけど
Many of them are like you, Luca.
ああ、なんかそれ、前に姉ちゃんに
Yeah,
言われたこと
I
ある
recall
気が
Sis
する。
saying something like that before.
ルカはどうしてストラノで暮らす
Why are you living in Strano?
直球だな。
That came out of nowhere.
気を悪くしたなら謝る
Sorry if that's personal.
Nah,
別
I'm
に
fine.
俺ストラノで母ちゃ
I'm
んと暮
living
ら
in
してんだ。
Strano with my mom.
母ちゃんは俺が生まれるずっと前から
I
ストラノ
heard
に
she's
いるみ
lived
たい
in Strano since before I was born,
だからストラノを離
which
れ
is
られ
why
ね
I
えんだ。
don't want to leave it.
父親は
How about your dad?
さあ、母ちゃん
I
だって
don't know.
誰が父親かなんて
I'm guessing
わ
Mom
かんねえ
doesn't
だ
know
ろ。
who my dad is.
あいつ今働けねえからさ。
She's not working now, so I have to work and make some money.
働けない
She's not working.
薬とかそういうの
Like,
やりすぎると
she's
体
broken
が
all
ボロボロ
over.
になるって言うだろ。
I think she took too many drugs or something. Luca.
生きるのってすげえ大変だけど、
I know living a normal life is hard,
でも母ちゃんには感謝してる
but
んだ。
I appreciate my mom a
俺を産ん
lot.
でくれたからな。
I mean, she gave birth to me. I quietly listened to Luca speak with a hint of embarrassment.
まあ、俺はまっとうに生きてるなんて
Then
情
again,
けても言えねえ
I
し、
know I'm not really living a normal life at all.
神様には顔向けできない
Even
んだよ
God
な。
wouldn't want to look at
だ
me.
から
That's why being at the church doesn't feel right. Yeah, Luca just swinging hard here. I want him to stay with me. I don't want him to go back to his mom. I'll be his mom.
神様はきっとルカのこと
I'm sure God is watching over you just fine.
怒ってる。
怒って
Yeah,
ない
but isn't he angry?
ルカが頑張ってる
Not at all.
見てくれ
I'm
て
certain God is proud seeing you do your very best, Luca.
偉いって思ってる
It's okay, Luca. Stay here. I'll take care of you. Don't leave.
だといいけど。
Well, I hope so. I can't give him the dumb voice anymore. I love him too much, and his story's too sad. Luca returned to Strano after his recovery. No, stay with me, Luca. I prayed that God would bless him from the bottom of my heart. He was tasked with the mission of blah blah. But for today, we would spend the afternoon together, enjoying a brief moment of leisure. Night had arrived. I was alone in the church, saying my prayers. It may not be much, but we're getting closer to the truth. I clasped my hands tightly as the thought of coming closer to the truth crosses my mind. Nightmare. Whoop whoop.
もうリートンったらだから言
See,
ったのに
Raiton? I
あれ
told
に
you,
木登
didn't
りなん
I?
てするからよ
You shouldn't have climbed that tree.
ほら
Here,
するから
let me see that.
痛くない
It doesn't hurt.
え
Eh?
痛くないもん
It doesn't hurt.
痛くないわけないでしょ
Of course it hurts.
こんなに腫れて
Look at the swelling. Ugh.
ねえリートン
Say, Raiton,
一体どうしたの
what's wrong?
最近
You've
ちょ
been
っとお
acting
かしいわ
strange lately.
だって
I
僕ファルツォーネ
I
のこと
don't like the
嫌いなの
Falzone. They don't let us out of the manor at all. Oh, I'm making the connections. Are you? I don't like Berlone's Italian food either. The food in France was much better. Oh, Raiton, are you still being sour about that? The Falzone have been very nice to us. You like this town, don't you, Chloe? Why, yes. It's a wonderful town. The streets are clean and the people are kind. I like Berlin a lot. Huh? I bet you only like this place because Silvio's here. Huh? You're so easy to read, Chloe. I'm that easy to read? Oh no. Sylvia doesn't know that I like him, does he? I think he's known for a while. Really? Oh, Raiton. Why didn't you say so earlier? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not, Cole. I'm only joking. Huh? Raiton? Why, you? Hmm?
誰の葬式だ
Whose funeral is it?
知らねえのか
Don't you know?
で囲ってたってよ
That girl in the Falzone's family. The girl that the Falzone family had in their custody.
ああ
Oh, you mean that one who didn't settle for being a mistress and tried to be the boss's wife? Yeah, she must have gotten in their way or something. Poor thing. Something about being stabbed. Well, shit. Guess that's what happens when you're a mafia woman. So did she fall into the sea? Or did she get murdered? Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time, YouTube. Goodbye!